All right, greetings everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Again, make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Also visit Donfo, DANFO, Donfo.Africa. We are rolling to Nigeria. I think he froze up, Kala. Yeah, Kala then froze up on us. We are rolling to Nigeria. Oh, there you go. All right, we're going to Nigeria August 8th through the 17th. 8th to the 17th. If you want to roll with us, let me know. Go to donfo.africa for details. And we are also rolling to Sierra Leone in November 20th through December 3rd. If you're interested in rolling to Sierra Leone, let me know. If you're interested in rolling to Sierra Leone, let me know. November 20th through December 3rd. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. So if you want to learn more, make sure you go to Donfo, DANFO .Africa to learn more. Without further ado, number one, how about them dogs? How about them dogs? National champions, baby. My alma mater, national champions. So without further ado, we got brother Kala Thanos on with us today. And tonight's topic is Once Upon a Time in Black America. Kala, when did you notice the shift? Now, I know the shift that I'm talking about. When did you notice the shift, Kala?
Well, it was like in I would say about the early '90s. Okay, the early '90s, right? Black America did this 360-degree shift to nonsense and mediocrity. One of the things that Black America, let me tell you something about the story of African Americans, right? When left alone, when we were left alone in this country, right? We produced a green book, right? We had a whole before the internet. We had a whole network of Black people supporting Black businesses, bed and breakfasts, restaurants, everything, travel locations, and everything. White people didn't want us in their rest stops and everything. Guess what? We got some land. Hey, this is a Black rest stop. You can have a good time, everything. We had our own Negro leagues. We had our own football league, basketball leagues. Everything Black America was contained. So, and also we produced our own what we used to call nigger rich people. You know, we didn't go to the white man for housing and everything. We have a Black man that had a house to rent. We go rent from him. We did this. We practiced this idea of avoidance. See, the white supremacy. When people take about white supremacy, right? Nothing is invincible. In every system, there's inherent weaknesses. Okay, and what happened is African Americans have learned how to survive 400 years in that system and even thrive. Okay, but what they don't want you to know is that I'm not for no saying that we shouldn't have had a civil rights movement and all this stuff like that. We were victims of the civil rights movement, right? We were victims of America. So the whole thing is if you say this, oh, you're preaching Black separatism, everything. Black people, the first law of nature is self-preservation. Okay, the first law of nature isn't making my neighbor happy, making this guy happy, or the first law of rule of nature is survival. Okay, and taking care of yourself. Once you have that, and you have all those things that you need, then you can think beyond yourself. You can think beyond your immediate, your mediocrity. You can think about on a higher level. But what happens is Black America is the only group of people who were told to give up everything that you have, okay? And let's think this higher purpose, which is this integrated colorblind society where Black boys and Black girls can walk hands and everything. See, they went to the Chinese. The Chinese said, no, I think I like what I got with the Chinatown. I think what I got. They went to the Mexicans, and the Mexicans said, we don't want to become gringos and whatnot. We're already losing what we have. The only group of people they went to, they didn't even go to Black America. Black America all said, what are you talking about integration? Blacks and whites were going to school in the North for almost 150 years. Okay, we're around whites all the time. What are you talking about? So they had to go to the South, right, the most segregated part of the country, and this was the place where they could say, "Oh, Black people segregated. Look at Black
Hey,
kids
Kyle,
going to
let
look."
me interject a couple things. I'm sorry, I got to interject. Somebody made a great point in the chat room, and you could cover this later on. White boys going into the hood doing hood vlogs gets more views than what we're doing.
Oh yeah, didn't we say that already? We talked about that, right?
Uh-huh.
White boys going into the hood, right? Exploiting the misery of Black people, right? 1 week got 1 million views.
But we can't get I can't be mad at them though. I'm not mad at him. I'm
But
not mad at the white boy
this
doing it.
this
I'm
is
not mad.
this is this
I'm
is
not
the
mad at him. I'm
this is
not
the
mad at
black
him.
America that white America ultimately wanted. On our knees, right? Humiliated, destroyed, and everything. I'm gonna tell you how they did this in South Africa. They tried to do this in South Africa too, to the black educated classes, the black middle class that was emerging at the turn of the 20th century in South Africa, right? They did the same, tried to do the same thing. They do this all over the world, right? Anytime there's an emerging class that can oppose them, same thing they did in China. Why do you think they brought opium into China? It was basically to undermine the Chinese culture, right? And create a bunch of dope addicts so they easily control.
But
Same thing.
Kyla, let me ask you a question, Kyla. Opium,
Mhm.
Chinese repressed it.
Yeah.
Why, when they brought crack in our community, did we
Because
decide to
we're
pick it
not the
up?
majority. We don't have the means. We like I said, Black America, our communities are a sitting duck. We don't have borders. There's no borders around Black America. There's no guards. There's no police. We don't have anything. We don't have no place we stand. So we're completely vulnerable. In 1954, they did a documentary on how to sell to the Negroes, right? And they said these people make at the time $25 billion. They said this is $25 billion we don't have to negotiate with. They're right here inside of our country. So they recognize these people. We built ourselves up, right? We're making this money, but the white people like this, we can go into their communities, right? Put billboard signs and take all the money out. We don't have to do it in other countries, right? We have to go and use diplomacy and stuff like that, and war and everything. But you got a people right inside your country that's a colony. We don't have to nothing. They can't do anything about it. And the thing is that the reason why they're not gonna fight it because we're offering them integration. We're offering them the chance to be Americans. Okay, and so this is the oxymoron. It's like an oxymoron, Black American, African American, right? You're basically an African people, right? Because let's be honest with you. So I'm gonna talk about this tonight, right? Almost every last single leader, people who founded the American Colonization Society and everything, they weren't trying to create no country like that's a lie. They just want to remove black people from America and send them to Africa. Why? Because they said, look, the African race in America is a threat to them, right? Why? What do you mean by threat? What do you mean by threat? They're talking about a genetic threat. If you have race mixing and everything like that, the white race feel will disappear, or the fact that the black genes will be dominant and everything. They did not have that same feeling towards the Native Americans. They don't have that same feeling towards the Chinese or the Mexicans and everything. But the African Americans, right? We always knew that the color line, the race in this country is real. Okay, so when people try to come up now and say, "Oh man, people should be able to marry who," no, they don't. We're still living in a country that's hostile to being black. And it's best that every black man and black woman marry within their race. That's for survival. Now, if you want to go do that other thing, right, you're on your own. That's not our concern. They always say Martin Luther King died so they think Martin Luther King died so black people and white people could marry each other. I don't think Martin Luther King cared about the loving case and everything. It used to be a time where 99% of black women, by the time she was 21, she was married. 25 was an old maiden. By the time she was 25, she was married. She was in a household.
Now
You
they're
know.
like, go get it, girl, get it, girl.
Now you see these videos, women that
Yeah.
don't even look halfway attractive. I'm not trying to sound offensive like that. Talking about I need a man making $1 million a year with all kind of. You take that makeup off her, throw a bucket of water, man, and she look like, oh my god, what the hell? But she wants $1 million a year. This is the insanity that we call Black America in 2022. Right? People do not know their place. Okay. Before the same woman that's on TikTok say I need a man, a generation ago, she would be in the church praising the Lord, right? Cooking that potato salad, right? And getting the youngins around there to do the church picnic and whatnot. But now, somebody told her that she needs to put on leggings and all stuff like that. You go, girl, and all stuff like this. And the same thing
No,
with
man, I mean, no, that's what they're saying. Get it, girl. You don't need no
you
man.
don't man,
Get it,
everything.
girl. Do you, girl? And you know what?
Because
So they talk about these men called incels who decide to stay within themselves. But
right,
now the girls are like, do you, girl?
yeah,
You
do
don't need
you?
nobody. Shoot, girl. Do you?
Yeah,
Do
and so
you, girl? Get them,
this is
girl.
Black America in 2022, and the reason why, like you asked the question, like when did you leave? I saw this right in the early 90s, right? Because they Essence magazine, Ebony Essence magazine did an article, right? That really scared me, right? They was asking black men what they did interview black men at the time, right? Young black men, what they thought. They went around sample a lot of young black men, right? And and this was my coming of age, right? And I was like in my early 20s and everything, in the early 90s, where I was in my early 20s. And basically they were saying, and I was feeling something at the time, right? But I didn't know what it was, right? I was feeling something, right? I just moved to Virginia, right? And something was just not right, you know? And so anyway, I read this article, right? And I said to myself, and the article said that a lot of sisters have options. I said, what the fuck are they talking about, right? It said a lot of men, right? They still have the urge to settle down. Like they say they want to have a wife and everything. They don't want none of this dating scene and everything. But they said the sisters out here are encouraged right now to just live the option, and the men feel at the mercy of these sisters who just basically, oh, who just they got the pick of men who make more money. I said myself, I said if I'm a girl 21, she's out there chasing a married man in his 40s and everything, and she's doing her thing. She's getting pursuing her degree in education, everything. And I'm saying to myself, at my age, my parents were married. And so so I'm saying to myself at the time, I said, what are the prospects? And so you go out there, right? You're encouraged, right? So I said, screw it. I'm gonna go out there and just do this thing. I started doing the clubbing thing, dating, everything like that. But I had no fulfillment because that's not what I ever wanted. I always wanted to build a family and be married and everything. And that's what they said most black men wanted. But the culture came in and right, it told you you could be a pimp, you could be a G, you could have all these hoes and everything. And so that's where Black America, Black male America, we missed it. We bought into this idea, right? We bought this idea that, oh man, just have bitches and hoes and all else stuff like this, right? And the sister's just like, yo, look, just get him for his money and everything. So we're just in a tailspin. Now the end results of this is this generation. We have a whole generation that's grown up not knowing any sort of structure. Don't know what a grandfather is, don't know what a real grandmother is, don't know what father is, don't know what structure, don't know how to see, don't see normal black people doing things. Families, as Information Man was saying the other day on the show, right? He said quality families, real families, not just families. You see some of these families out here, Dynas, right? Go to Chuck E. Cheese. That's the family. Oh, we got the family. It's beautiful. What kind of family? Next thing you know, when your baby daddy shows up or not, and the whole place is in a big uproar, people fighting everything. Look what just happened to this guy, this rapper Trouble. Okay, all this kind of stuff. This girl that he got shot over. I'm interested to know, did she have any kids? Did she have any kids? Were any kids involved? Do you know anything about that, Dynas?
Well, I know Trouble has kids, has children.
No, I'm talking about, did the woman have kids?
I'm sure she did. I'm not sure, but
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she had a baby or
So
two.
she's involved with a guy, right?
I could
Involved
be
with
wrong, but never know.
She's involved with one man, right? He got strong feelings for her, and then she invites another man over to her bed, and they're barely not broken up one night, and one person's dead. And this stuff is happening over and over again in our culture.
Kyler, that's what I want to ask you. Do you understand the number of female-related or involved deaths that I'm seeing on a daily basis now? Was that going on with you? Was that going on when you were on?
I see it all. I said it just the other day, 2 black women were shot and killed in
No,
Portsmouth.
I'm saying, was that going on back during your heyday?
Well,
Like
back then, it was like, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story, right? When College Genesis almost was a simp, right? I had met this girl online. I started, so back in like the 90s, I started online dating, right? That's when big, right? This was 98, right? I started online dating, right? So I met this cute little girl online right now. She said, oh yeah, this and the other. She'll come up to my job, right? So I come up to her job, right? And I said, first of all, red flags was in my head, right? Because she kept asking me, she after she revealed herself to me a little bit, right? And I should have warned, right? But she was so fine though, right? I was like, listen to her, right? She was saying, yeah, something happened. The cops came to her house and arrested her, and whatnot, But there's another thing. A lot of girls portray themselves as decent middle-class girls. That's what they know you're looking at, right? But then she started giving me clues, like, yeah, the cops came. I said, what happened? Well, what happened was me and my ex, like, we had this, it was something that they had done, right? And he didn't pay the bill, I guess some furniture or something like that. And they had a judgment and they didn't show up to court, right? And said, yeah, so the cops came to my house, but he bounced on her, and I got arrested for it. And I said, oh yeah, I really feel bad for that. You ain't thinking, she's fine, man. Like that. So anyway, the time I went to go see her, right? I went to her job, right? And she worked in this apartment complex at the office, right? So I'm sitting there talking to her, and there's some freaking Carlton from Fresh Prince looking dude comes in with roses and whatnot. You know, saying he was like, I was like, who are you? I'm here to see such and such. I was like, I'm here to see her. And then she was like, oh my God, man. She goes, I told you to come tomorrow. And I'm sitting there like, you know, and I said, you know something, I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gone. I'm sorry. Sorry. Like, give me a call. No, 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 no. So that let me know. I didn't have any frame of reference for that, you know, because that was something new. Now, if I told that story today, they were like, oh, that's normal. You know, a girl playing two guys with each other and all that. That's normal. When I was coming up and whatnot, I didn't see that because all the examples I saw was people were dating, successful women. When they talk to a man, this is a guy that might be the one that's gonna I'm gonna marry and everything. I did not know that the society had told women, black women in particular, that you could play this game up until you're 50 years old, and then when you turn 50, now it's time to get serious. You know, when you turn
Experience.
50,
Hold on. Let me read the super chat. Experience that doing what? Like all this, their career politician stuff. Experience that doing what?
yeah, what was it? The feminist movement got supercharged when Trump beat Hillary, and she was more experienced at what?
Experience that doing what?
Well, what did she do? You know,
Yeah, what has she done? Experience that doing
what did
what?
spirit? What did she do? You know, they basically when Hillary was running, right? No one ever said any sort of policy that she was going to do. You know, they didn't say anything. It was just she's our girl. They wanted to see it's time for a woman. It's she, you know, and stuff like this. And I have to be honest with you, Dynas, right? I got caught up in the Obama thing. I did not care. I wasn't listening close to what anything Obama said. I just saw a
Oh yeah,
black
cool.
man.
Okay, me too. Me too. I
You
voted
know what I'm
08. I
saying?
was crying.
And
Listen,
I
I was
realized
crying. I was crying. Everything. I
I
cried. Yeah,
realize
yeah, yeah.
now how dangerous that is. And I think Black America politically could emerge more mature, but we still got these Negroes out here, right? That orange man bad, Democrat good, and everything. And they're going to try to march. You hear the latest thing? Jay-Z, the Democrat, Joe Biden tapped Jay-Z to talk to black people. Jay-Z.
Oh my god.
Oh, you hear
Oh
about
my god.
Jay-Z said, yeah, we gotta get Biden, we gotta get to the poll. So he's gonna him and Jay-Z Beyonce is gonna jigger it out there and they're gonna talk about the poll. The bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. No one gives a damn about you. No one cares about building Black America. No one's serious about this thing. Everybody, Black America is just big elephant meat that everybody's coming to get a piece off of and eat and just take. They have no respect for black. I had no idea it was this blatant. Barack Obama when John Lewis died, right? And I didn't really care for John Lewis and everything, but before when he was supposed to, it wasn't he the eulogy? Wasn't he supposed to eulogy? That was his speech of the eulogy at the funeral. You know, I think he was a eulogy, right? He gets up there before he can even talk about John Lewis, like he was John such and such, yeah, like that, like that. First thing he starts saying, the first sentence is, "We got to get out the vote." You know, John Lewis. So basically, you politicize this man's death, right? And you couldn't even let his body turn cold before you politicize his death. That shows me that no one really cares about Black America. And I'm starting to see now, right? If it had it not been for men like John Johnson back in the days with Ebony magazine, these people actually believed in this idea of Black America, that we're people and everything. We're people. But over the years, we have people that come into our community who don't really care about us. This is why all our communities are failing. Nobody really loves us. These people that represent us don't love us. They don't love Black America. And then not only that, now we're in a situation where Black America has not really made any progress over the last few decades, right? Now you have Black immigrants coming in. Now we wanted to basically, since we didn't make any progress, right? Nobody respects us, right? Nobody respects us. Nobody respects so-called foundation of Black America. Nobody has any respect for us, right? So we want the immigrants to come, Black immigrants to come and bow and at our feet for all we've done. They look at you like, are you kidding me? Y'all in America on your knees. Nobody respects you. But you want the Black immigrant to come over here and pay homage to you. Well, you don't even respect yourself. And I'm gonna tell you about once upon a time in Black America. Once upon a time, immigrants came here, and the first thing first place they went was Harlem. You know, Fela Kuti came to Harlem. You know, Hugh Masekela. Every last single Caribbean song,
No,
everybody
I
went to
think
Harlem.
Fela went to LA. I think he went to LA.
No, he went to L.A., but he went to Harlem too. But you look at as I know, he spent time in Harlem too. He went to L.A. too. He was in Los Angeles, but he went to Harlem. Hugh Masekela, you know. but it was a Harlem culture. You know, the Harlem Renaissance, the Harlem culture, the black culture. You know, the thought process of the black man in the West, right? The idea of black unity and black Pan-Africanism and all stuff like that was the mecca was that it was in Harlem, New York. Okay, all the black nationalists throughout the world, right, listen to Harlem lectures and speakers and the culture of the fact that yes, we are a black people. We're the black people of the West. We're the black people of North America. We're the black people of the West. We always was that, right? This idea that we're just Americans, period, and everything is a farce. We never was that, and we never will be. So therefore, so this idea that when immigrants came here, people don't even know a lot about elite in Black America historically have been from the Caribbean. Okay, the Caribbeans were always our educated class in America. They came here from usually from elite families in Haiti, other places, and everything like that. So they believe in education. Madam Stephanie St. Clair, you know, the Madam Queen of Policy in New York City, Stephanie St. Clair, she was from the Virgin Islands, you know, and so therefore we always had this thing. When you come to America, right? We always had this thing. Once you come to America, land on these shores, you are part of our culture. You are part of the Black community, right? You are part of Black America because we had a Black America. We had the big cities, bright lights and everything. We had the jazz and all this stuff like this. So there was a Black culture, you know, and when you're a Black person, whether you're from Africa, the Caribbean, you're part of this Black culture. You know, nobody ever said that just because you were a slave descendant in America, that's the only way that defines Black America. Harry Belafonte is from the islands. Sidney Poitier is from the islands, you know, but they were two of our biggest icons in Black America. Once upon a time of Black America, you know what I mean? Daddy Grace, I think he was from Cape Verde. He was from Cape Verde. Daddy, you ever heard that? You ever heard Daddy Grace, Dinas? Before your time. Okay, research. I'm gonna give you a homework assignment. Two people I want you to research, right? These were charismatic cult leaders, Daddy Grace and Father Divine. You know,
I know Father Divine.
Father Divine, yeah, he's from Long
Oh, so
Island.
you know, Rob, the founder of Ebony Magazine, was it Bob Johnson? Bob Johnson, the founder of Ebony Magazine. His sister got caught up, I guess, in Father
Father
Divine's
Divine, a
church,
lot
the
of people
cult
did.
or whatever,
Yeah,
and she got caught up in that. So
right. Well, Daddy Grace used to have this. We had a Daddy Grace right here. I had one of my clients last year. They were Daddy Graces. Right? I said, "What kids?" Yeah, Daddy Grace had a temple in Norfolk. I said, "Okay, Grace." I said, "I didn't know they were no. I thought it was. I knew it was every place." They said, "Oh, we got Daddy Grace came to Norfolk one time." She said, "Back in the '60s, whatever." She said, "Man, the line he always throw money out and stuff like that, you know." And when I was a kid in school, so this is another thing. There's a movie called with Jack Black called Rock and Roll School. You ever seen that? Rock and Jack Black. Watch that movie, right? They dropped some science in that movie. I don't know how to do this. A lot of Black people get their culture stealing from them. They were singing Soul Sister Number 9, right? Soul Sister Number 9 is what I was singing in the early 1970s when I was in kindergarten and everything. I didn't know we said Soul Sister Number 9, sock it to me one more time. Soul Sister Number 3, keep your white hands off of me. But Jack Black was singing Soul Sister Number 9. And on blogs, it was like, what is Soul Sister Number 9? It was an African-American Black power hymn and everything. So all these things that kept Black America, you know, underground and everything. We had this underground culture and everything. Everything is from jump rope to all the stuff that Black America had and everything. We had all these things that now we don't have anymore. And this idea of assimilation, everything, the idea that everything that we did was ghetto and ignorant and stupid and everything, and we lost everything. But all those things that we used to have among ourselves when it gave us a sense of community, gave us a sense of unity and a purpose of who we are. And so therefore, coming out of that, we're like this. We don't know who we are anymore. And this is what you have right now. This is how a young kid, 18 years old, look at Philadelphia, could pull a gun out and end the life of another 18-year-old. The hatred that we see among ourselves. We're not going to build anything as long as hatred is out there, as long as greed, materialism, and violence and all the stuff like that. You know, as long as there's gender wars, all this stuff, this toxic stuff that's killing Black America. Once upon a time in Black America, this did not exist. Once upon a time, there was actually a thing called Black love in our community, where the wino would go down, he walked down the street, right? He had a paper bag on his wine, and when he saw the man that's righteous walking down the street, he would put sort of, hey, how you doing, such and such, right? He put his wine away and try to act right. or he would say hi to tip his hat to a lady and say like this. This was sort of these social culture. When an adult talked to a child, a young child, yes, Miss Such and Such, no, Miss Such and Such, and everything. Why was that possible? You know, it was black love. It was black love. It was black people to understand. It wasn't something. It was something that we inherited because it's all we had was each other. All we had was we know there was no white zaddy there. There was no county. There was no nothing. We had families, right? And families look at now. Families have rivalries. People have beef. Everybody love. Sometimes families get out there fight. But a couple of years later, but hey, yeah, man, you know, remember back in the days, man, we had our beef and everything. But yes, you know, you see this man. Oh yeah, man, I hate that dude. What's he now? He has a family now. Yeah, he's married, man. He has his kid there and everything. He bumped into him. Hey, how you doing, bro? I heard you got married and everything like that. Yeah, man, I got 2 kids, got one on the way, and yeah, like that. Yeah, man, I tell you what, why don't you come by, man? We're gonna cook this on the thing. I heard those stories, those things I heard. And those are things that I saw in my culture and my people, that there was love. You know, now black people, we don't talk to each other. We don't talk to our neighbor. We look at each other suspiciously. We see other black men, we get aggressive. We get angry. You know, we want to fight. We want to kill. You know, we don't cover. We didn't cover our neighbor's wife. We didn't do all these things that we see that we do now. You know, women were respectful. Men were respectful of women for the most part. You know, and so therefore we have it. And then when you look at the culture, look at how we used to dress, Dynas. You see the vintage African American pictures I be putting up, right? The 1930s, 19-year-old. It was a
everybody had a suit on.
When you was 18, first thing you did was go to the camera store, right, and take a photo. And when the white man try to make you out to be a clown or buffoon, you have this portrait, right? And Dynas, is it me or the black people look like they were so beautiful back then?
Gorgeous. Mm-hmm.
Every skin tone and complexion, the women look beautiful. They didn't have weave down to their butt, but what they had, they looked so neat. Girls with barrettes in their hair, girls with braids, or just girls with like a short perm, whatever, or some girls with afros when that. They look so beautiful. They look thin. They look well capped and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This is what the black men in America had. And those women in their mind was, I'm gonna find me a good man with a good heart to be with. Now those type of women don't exist anymore. They're in the clubs, you know. They don't care about how they carry themselves and everything. They're on TikTok, you know. They're on YouTube making videos and everything. They're out here running the streets, you know. Like I said, once upon a time in Black America, we had virtuous women and we had honorable men, you know. So this is what I'm talking about. People can talk what they want, and everything, but this is, I don't know if we ever get back to that, because the powers that be have decided they don't want that Black America. That's why they allow drugs to come in. That's why they allow toxic music and everything on our airways. Dynas, if you listen to the radio, I don't know if do you got a hot jams down there in Atlanta? What's the ghetto?
Yeah, I mean, we got all that. I really don't pay attention to it.
Right. But why do you think they make a concerted effort to put that garbage on radio 24 hours a day? Half these rappers, every time they die, only time I know about these rappers when they get killed. I didn't know who Young Dolph was. I didn't know what this guy in California got stabbed was. I didn't know this other rapper, everything, they get arrested, everything. It's one rapper that's facing 60 years because he tried to steal a $250,000 chain, you know, everything. I don't know none of these. I don't know anything about these rappers and everything until they get killed or they go to jail. And so why is this happening? You know, Young Thug, right? Young Thug, you know, 50 murders, linked to 50 murders. And so they were building since 2015. And that's when they do RICO, it takes about an average 7 years before they start handing down indictments. And when they hand down indictments, you can rest assured their case is solid. They got witnesses on top of witnesses and everything. And also, people don't really understand something, right? Those statutes that he's involved with, that's no one's talking about, qualifies him for the death penalty. You know, if they already linked him to all these murders. If you're part of a criminal organization, right, and they linked you to the murders and everything, and then they got him on tape, on record, preaching about, I didn't kill him, but I made sure that nigga died, whatever like that. That's evidence. Now, what gets me is has this Dynas, right? Jay-Z and all these people are campaigning like in New York, where a person can't, if you confess on a rap record, that can't be used you in a court of law. So it was just a record. Well, he put himself on the scene, right? Gave a full confession on record, but you cannot use that in court. Now I understand that if I was a criminal rapper, I would say, yeah, I would say, but why should I, right? I, as a law-abiding citizen, right, a law-abiding person, yes, I am, because Malcolm X said, let's be law-abiding citizens. Because the last thing you want to do in a white man's country is try to think you're going to rise as a criminal in the white man's society. That's just the biggest trap. And then black men who are stupid enough to fall for it, right? They're the ones sitting there, yeah, man. I got the Popo always locking me up. Well, but Pookie, what'd you do, man? Just because he found like 3 bags of crack in my back pocket and whatnot, I'm just trying to make some money to feed my daughter, my baby, and whatnot. And the Popo just came out of nowhere and locked me up. What'd you do? I didn't do nothing, man. So the bottom line is this: we as a culture have failed. We've let criminals and all these other people, these people that are failing in Black America, control the narrative. How many black men are brave enough to say, just draw a line in the sand, say, all you people that's doing all this fuck shit, you do not represent me. I don't. We have nothing to do with each other. Dice, how many people even on the thing? How many black men do you know that will say that? Not many, right?
Not many. Hey, Colin, this black men created a culture of degenerate behavior, but refuse to take responsibility. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that, but the thing is this though: men don't do anything unless they're gay or homosexual, unless the women approve of it. The women approve of this. I've seen it all the time. You saw the video with the guy that's he's an aerospace engineer, whatever.
Yeah.
And the woman say, "Oh, he's boring and lame." You got brothers out there that college educated everything, and they're young. When you're young, you don't think right. When you're 21, 22, you just want to be cool with the girls. If the girls are telling, I look at somebody, dude, you got 2 parents and you got a good job. Why are you trying to thug it up out here? These dudes will go, because I went down that same path, trying to impress girls and whatnot. I gotta be out there thugging. I gotta wear my do-rag. I gotta go out there and knock somebody out and risk my life and everything, But now the stakes are higher. Back then we used to fight with our hands. Now you being a thug trying to show up in front of a girl, you end up in a grave. You don't want to punk out. And the girls egg this up on. You won't let him talk to you like that. I've seen it. I see it. I remember one time I was working in the club, right? And like I said, that's why I started to throw deadly clowns. Because these one group used to come in the club or not, and I used to always hem these dudes up. They're always doing stuff. I said like this. The one dude was older than me, right? And he said, "Yo, man, I like you, man. You remind me of my dad." I said, "Nigga, you 10 years older than me. How the hell I'm not your dad, nigga?" You know what I'm saying? But clowns, right? You think 10 years, I was going to ID. You like my pops. Nigga, you 10 years older than me. So your pops. Motherfuckers don't grow up in like, I even call them deadly clowns, right? So there's one dude I was hemming up, right? I was always like, love hemming this dude. He had long, it was the time of Lil Jon, right? And everybody had the Lil Jon dreadlocks and whatnot. I said, "Yo, man, you again, man." I had this motherfucker up, man, and say, "Yo, I'm gonna drag you out of the club, man." He said, "Nah, man, it's all good, man. Don't fuck me up." So anyway, a little while later, man, he said, "Yo, man, my homegirl over there was like, yo, man, she said, I got to deal with you." So what the fuck you talking about? Yo, she was like, she came to me and said, "Why you let him hem you up like that?" I said, "Oh, really?" She said that, right? And then it dawned on me right then how these dudes get bold because of these females. I said, "Dude, do you really want to go down that path?" He said, "Yeah, but she said, the way you was like." I said, "I'm the authority here. If I want to choke your ass out, if I want to knock you out and choke you out, I'll do it. I'm just being nice to you. I hemmed you up in the corner because you was acting stupid." He said, "Yeah, but you made me look stupid in front of her." So she went to him like, "Yo, man, you can't let him do that to you. He violated it." All right, I went with her like, "Yo, you want to get your ass dragged out of here, honey? No, shut your fucking mouth for instigating shit." Bottom line is, when people say black men toxic, if females will reject all this stupid, deadly clown culture in Black America, it will go away overnight. If females are out there, they don't care how the man get money. Well, he's gonna get locked up. I don't care. She had a good time. She could brag that her man is a soldier. He's locked up and whatnot. They don't care about that. I seen
What does he call it? What does he brag about? What is he?
he's a soldier, you know. My man's a soldier. Yo, look at the song I Need a Soldier. Remember that Beyonce Destiny Child, I Need a Soldier? You know, the sisters were saying, yeah, like, and the sisters like, yeah, I need somebody to pay my bills. Destiny Child's another hood rat culture, you know. Bottom line is this: if the sisters,
Here you
if the
go, one collar.
women
I used
did
to
not,
here's another one collar. Shoot, he used to hide his work in my purse. I used to carry his work. He used to hide his work in my purse.
yeah. That was Eve,
Carry
right?
his
That was Eve.
work. I used to
Was that
carry
Eve?
his dope sacks for. I used to carry his dope for him. You
Yeah.
know.
Doing my thing like Eve. Remember the video with Eve, and they were doing a ghetto Romeo and Juliet, and she went and pawned the chain and got a big stack of money to bail him out, whatever like that. You know, it's a whole hood rat. There's a lot of females that's all they know. You know, they're not thinking like you and I, nation building and stuff like that. Now, I do believe if black men get off their ass and get serious about this idea of an Afghanistan, a nation state, a building, everything, just go all out, say, look, this is the thing. Fuck your reparations. We're not. We want to build up.
Hey, shout out to I'm a Soldier from the Magnolia. Shout out to Quincy. Hey Quincy, I'm about to serenade you. Oli, oh yeah, thorough soldiers. What you know about that old juvie, Quincy? Oli, oh yeah, thorough soldiers. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So the bottom line is this: the sisters say, "Oh, black men create type." Yeah, I agree, 100%. But like Adam and Eve in the garden, right? It was Eve that gave Adam that apple. You know, the females, man. Yo, look, the black women, man. Y'all got so much power over us. It's unreal. Y'all made us do some stupid shit over the years. You know, and the bottom line is this: there's a lot of brothers who, it's dangerous. So like I said, Black America is becoming toxic. To survive in Black America, you gotta be toxic. You gotta be dangerous. You gotta be a killer and all stuff like this. Just to get a woman. Just like you look at animals fight. The lion. You ever see hippos fight? You ever see a hippo fight, battle for?
I've never seen a hippo fight.
No,
That would be interesting.
check this out. When one hippo want to challenge a male, the dominant male for all the hippos, right? All them fine hippos in the pond, in the river, right? The dominant male comes up, sees a challenge where he the one guy goes off, right? And then the one time I watched this thing, and the guy said, the hippo said, "Yo, look, man, I got a mate. I'm gonna risk everything, right, and go all out." And the female hippos, right, they're gonna choose the dude who's the strongest. It's this primal thing in Black America. See, in white America, they have other means of protecting women. They got money. They own Wall Street. They build Las Vegas. They build cities. The black man is just left with mediocrity, and rap records and sports things and drugs and crime and everything for the most part, right? And the black man who's legitimate, right? Now, if you're a black man who's a businessman, right, and you pull off being a multi-million-dollar businessman like Robert Smith and everything, you could hang with there. But for the most part, black women realize what black men can do. They know it's a white man's country, right? This is something that we got to discuss, right? Black women realize it's a white man's country and the black man the shit. So what the black man is able to do is sling dope. The black man is able to do open up a strip club. The black man is able to do those things. I'm talking about to get rich. I ain't talking about just to have a little something right there. Now you could be a black man, right, and have a dream of having your own roofing business, right? That ain't gonna get the girls. Now, when you do get that roofing business, right, and you got an office and you got a crew, you got a line of credit, right, $1 million, and you putting down $1 million contracts and everything, and you got millions of it, then the females will come. But by that time, right, you found a Becky or an Asian girl, right? Because
hold on one second. I've seen the Big Five. I just haven't seen a hippo fight.
Right, a hippo fight is like
hippos are dangerous. Like hippos,
are very dangerous. The most dangerous animal in Africa. I seen this one time with these white people, right, were on a canoe, right? Oh, the hippo was like, your hippo gave them a warning, right? And next thing you know, the hippo came and charged them and killed them. It's white people, and so they're taking pictures on a canoe. And I feel sorry for those black men who take these people because they're the first person to get killed. Those tour guides, and then the white people pay them to go out there to get close to the animals and everything. And you think some people say, well, why did he do that? Well, he got to feed 5 kids or whatnot, and a white person offering him $100 to go on a tour guide, even how dangerous it is, they're taking a chance. I've seen that happen. But yeah, but male hippos, when they fight, they're fighting to the death. And what they fight for? They're fighting for mating rights, because the female hippos are going to choose or going to let breed with whoever wins the fight. And in our culture, and that's like lions. Lions fight the same way. Whoever wins, you take over the prize. You kill the kids and take over the prize. So basically, human beings are the same way in many ways, right? Although if we're not the same ways, then why is it that a man has to be strong? He has to have all this before a female considers him worthy. Now, people say, well, a lot of a white man just having white skin in America, that's like having a leg up. That's like having $5 million in the bank startup. That's like having 850 credit score permanent, if you're a white man in America. But you're a black man, right? You better be the first round draft pick. You see those white girls out there with them dudes with their draft when they'll get drafted in the NBA, and he got his little white Becky and everything like that, and stuff like that. You better be a football player.
Hey, Kyle, are you saying that sisters should be with the struggle love, like struggle love? That's what you're saying?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't
The
want to get
struggle
killed
love.
over here. I don't want to get killed over here, but I'm like this, man. This is hard, man, because you're asking black women to settle, and I know I just made a lot of black female friends here, in the chat room. I ain't struggling. See, I kind of sisters. I understand, right? But we gotta look at the whole picture. See, you gotta say, oh, this is what goes on the black man in America, right? Females don't want to hear your sob story. They don't want to hear about the white man. They don't want to hear about white supremacy and everything. They don't want to hear about all that. If you cannot make it or you're not doing something with your life and everything, what Kevin Samuels said, they don't want to hear that. And so therefore, we black men have to get together and on an individual and a collective basis and say, we got to change our lot, or we're going to, this is the way it is. And we're not living. And not only that, Dynast, right? It used to be a time, right? And people say, Carl, you sound like a racist, right? It used to be a time, right, where we did not have to compete with other races for black women. It just did not happen.
We don't. In my eyes, we don't have to compete now.
No, I'm seeing now that there's a lot of white men who are Asian men. If they see a black girl that's cute, right, she is on the menu. And I've seen it all the time.
I still don't see it as competition.
Well, I know. No, I'm not saying competition, but I'm saying that should not even be an option. If black women with this divest movement, right? That's what this divest movement is. They're saying that we're going to start taking these white men, Asian men up on the offer because they always black women.
Let them take them.
But the whole thing is Dynast, man. They're going to take all the good looking ones. They're going to take all the fine ones.
No, they won't. No, they won't. No, I ain't worried.
They're in Black America. We disagree. But bottom line is this. Back in the days, right? A white guy, like I had white friends of mine, man. They were like, wanted to date my sister. I said, hell no. Hell fucking no. There's one kid, white boy liked my sister. I said, dude, man, you better leave that shit alone. That ain't happening. I don't approve of it. My dad doesn't approve of it. You ain't dating my sisters. But the bottom line is we don't have that in Black America. And that the odds are that the black females and black men are going to build. If we cannot build, we cannot have people in their 30s and 40s, right? And not building anything. You see right now, when they talk about we're going to build these communities, right? Okay, I asked the question. I asked it. Okay, if you're going to rebuild a community, what are you going to put them there? Are they going to be single mothers, right, with their lesbian partners and a family? Is it going? Who is going to be the blue black family? Who's the new face of black families? Are we going to get back to mom and dad and everything? Nobody wants to touch the elephant in the room. Are we talking about building black families back again with mom and dad, kids, and everything? And then that's what we have to build with. That's the reference point we talk about a black family. Or the black family is Craig and them, Pookie and them, and living with the grandma, aunt, and everybody living in one house and whatnot, and somebody, and Boo Boo's eating up all the cornflakes and everything and stuff like that. And we just a family and whatnot, No, we want family was, okay, you 18, 19, you go into the military, go to college, do something like that, go to vocational school, you move on. 21 to black, you're male, you're 21, 22, it's time to move on, do something else, everything. If the female, whatnot, get your college education and everything, but one day you're gonna walk down that aisle and get married. That's the only way you're gonna get rid of this toxic. If that's the norm in Black America, the problems that we see as far as violence and crime and everything will gradually go away. It's not meant for people to just be, out here like this, and people with nothing to do. They said the Bible says, well, I don't know what the Bible says, but the idle mind is the devil's workshop. We have too many people idling, sitting on the internet all day, thinking thoughts and everything. So therefore we're not building anything. And so therefore what you do see is the black immigrants, right? The Nigerians, Liberians, they are building families. They're coming over here building families. And they're building families, they're having kids and everything, and stuff like that. All the stuff that Black America don't do. And so they go into college, get an education, and all stuff like this, and they participate, and they're becoming the new face of Black America. Okay, I go to Jack. Yeah, Jack and Jill. Look, you have these Black elite. Yes, the Black elite. You got families and everything, you got bloodlines and everything. But the Black elite and Jack and Jill societies, for the most part, distance themselves from the masses. They distance themselves, right? They want to be, we're Black, but they're not integrated into the Black culture and society. They have their own Black culture and society. They call themselves elite, but elite, the only elite we have in America is the white community. We don't have any elite. Elite means you're above, you're the pinnacle of what? The people that you're the leader of have to agree that you're our elite, you're our people. And what happens is this, though, when Black people start building like in communities in New York and stuff like that, they basically pass these people because you got people, working class communities in New York, New Jersey, everything, both households making $150,000 a year, working class, just blue collar. So what are you a lead of? What are you a lead of? Now they have these nice societies and everything, which they marry with each other. That's beautiful, right? But the thing is, though, they have never been able to transform that to connect with the masses of Black people. Why? Because we're living in America. White America is always going to be there to make sure that does not happen. And the Boule societies and everything, they're beholden to white supremacy. They're beholden to the white power structure. As long as that's the case, the Black Boule, like Eldridge Cleaver says, is a joke. Because they're not providing anything. Me and Professor Davis disagreed about this, had an argument about this one time. And I said, yeah, I know. I granted you guys, I have no doubt that you guys are doing your thing and everything. But the whole thing is, though, and I asked her a question, what can you do for us as far as Pan Africa? Oh, well, I got the connections. And I said, okay, but I want to see it. And he couldn't deliver. I said, that's what I'm talking about.
All right. We gotta go ahead. Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dynas, man.
Oh, no, this is not Trey Hampton, is it?
It's Trey. Let him go. Let Trey.
Come on. I would have
Caller, you know you love me, man. Caller, you know you love me.
Hey, hold on, Trey. The floor is yours, Trey. Go ahead.
Thank you, man. Caller, my question to you is, if FBA is so bad, why are you not in Africa and your problem is solved?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. These loaded questions, man. Trey, first of all, you are not Native American, right? That's first of all, right? You're not Native American, right? How can you be a foundational Black American and a Native American at the same time? I don't know. But
it's actually an amalgamation, but never mind.
Yeah, sure. It's always amalgamation, yeah. We're all amalgamated one night, just like the Catcher Freeman guy,
No, they just enslaved. They enslaved Indigenous Americans and Africans, and they just call them Negro. But anyway,
check this out. This is what they do. They create a status of freedom, right? Now, what they want to do is, right, make it so that it doesn't clearly define Black African Americans. They say Indians were also slaves, Irish were slaves. So we're taking one group, right? We're a mixture of Indian, Irish, and Chinese and everything. We're freedmen. We don't necessarily have to call ourselves African Americans or Africans because that's just one little tiny part of our identity and whatnot. I mean,
hey, let's be men and cut to the chase, caller. Yeah. If we're so bad, then why are you not in Africa?
I said, look, I love my community.
Why are you not in Africa?
Look,
it's Wakanda.
I love my community, African Americans, right? But sometimes you got to.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. You got to put your foot up on people's ass.
And why are they burning women in Nigeria?
So look, come on, man.
And can you use the Asian line in Kenya?
Oh, check this out. Look, check this out.
Caller,
this week,
go fix that Asian line in Kenya. And then before you talk about FBA.
Hold on, caller. Hey, Trey, where you from? Where you from, Trey? Where you from?
Man, Pittsburgh, Alabama, all over.
Trey, where you from, bro?
For real, I lived in Alabama, Pittsburgh, then I traveled all overseas.
Is this your avatar? You used to play basketball? Where'd you play basketball at, Trey?
I played basketball at Ole Miss, Georgia State, overseas, a lot of places.
Okay, Trey. All right, Trey. Go
Basically, I'm
ahead, Trey.
saying all these Pan Africans are in America. Why are you not in Africa by now,
Well,
living the dream?
let me say this. Let me say
No,
this.
no, no. Why are you
Oh,
not in Africa living the
hold
dream if
on.
it's all
Trey,
that? That makes no sense to complain about FBA women all day when you could be in Africa all day.
Trey. Let me ask you a question. Right.
No, no, no. Why are
Hold on.
you answer my question,
Do you
bro?
do you want to answer?
Why are you not in Africa
You
living right now?
hold on. Do you want an answer? Let me answer. Okay. Give me a second. Right.
It's
First of
not
all,
that hard. You're
yo, look,
deflecting.
look. Let me answer. You gonna let me talk? Okay. Just shut up. Zip it for like 2 minutes, right? And I'll answer your question, right? Look, Pan African means Pan means many, right? Pan means many. Out of many, we are one, right? I don't have to necessarily be in Africa, right, to make sure that the I'm concerned about what goes on in the Congo right now between the Congo and Rwanda. I'm concerned about what's going on in South Africa right now with xenophobia. I'm concerned about what's going on in Zambia. I'm concerned about what's going on in Cameroon right now with that B
So
of
long
pepper.
story short, you would rather live in America than Africa.
Hold on. First of
Where
all,
would you rather live, America or
hold on.
Africa?
If I had a choice,
You do have a choice.
hold on. First of all, I have a business here. Unlike you, I have a business here, and I got
So
ties,
where would you rather live, in Africa
If
or
I
America?
hold on, check this out. If I had the money, the means to sell
Where
my,
would you rather
I
live,
would live
in
in Africa.
Africa
Hold
or
on, yeah,
America?
I would live in Africa in a minute if I had the means to do so. But Africa,
So
like
with
I said,
all your Pan Africans, y'all haven't set up something to do
hold
that?
on. If you understand what I'm talking about, right? Black people have to
Dude, there's
build.
black people, there's black Americans in
Hold
Africa
on.
right now.
But hold on. Don't try to divorce black
No, there's
America,
black
Africa, right?
Americans living in Africa right
Yeah,
now.
there's black America living in Africa, right? But there's not enough, right? Not enough. We don't have the. We're trying to
So
build
go be the
infrastructure.
change you want to see in the world.
Hold on. Yeah,
Be the change. It
look.
starts with you,
Hold on.
Kala.
Why don't you be the change and
Go
start
go
building?
take some cake soap and
Hold on.
go.
Why don't you be the change and admit that you're a freaking African American instead of Native American? Why don't you be that change?
I'm a foundational black American. I
Okay.
never lived in Africa my whole life.
Yeah. You're a foundational black American. Let me ask you a question. What is a founder? What are you founding on? What foundation you have, man? Because every time it looks around, man, we keep getting uprooted. We got uprooted from Black Wall Street. We got uprooted from Wilmington, North Carolina.
And
We
we're
got
still
uprooted every
here.
time.
And
We
we're still here.
hold on. We're so foundational. We got uprooted from Harlem. Harlem's not even majority black
And
anymore,
we're
right?
still here.
Hold up, we're still where, nigga?
In America.
Look. Let me tell you something.
In America, the same way you're here. The
You're
same
not in
way you're
America.
here.
Hold up. Let me tell you
You're
something. Let me tell you
selling
something.
Africa, but you're paying taxes in America.
Dice, let me say this. You are not in America, right? You're in nigga land, right? That's where you live, right? America is where the white folks live, right? And black people with money and everything. That's America, right? South Side Chicago is not America. Detroit is not America, right? They make you comfortable in your country, in this
That's
country,
like
right?
saying the floating slum in
Just because you
Nigeria
live in
is
a
Africa.
border, hold on, you live inside the United States, but you're not in America. America is a white concept. White people
Okay.
live the
That's
American life.
okay.
You are not American.
Frederick Douglass
You know?
feels different. I feel different.
I
It's
don't
all
care what
good.
they were Frederick
I
Douglass.
know you
Frederick
don't.
Douglass
That's why you don't count, bro. Go to Africa. I know you don't care what Carter G. Woodson said. I know you don't care what Frederick Douglass said. I know. Our foundational black
even though
American ancestors don't matter to you.
I'm in the
I get
United
it.
States, right? But
I
I'm not
get
in
it,
America,
dude.
right?
Go to
America
Wakanda.
is
It's
All right,
waiting on you.
hold on. We got another caller. Hold on. Let's get
Go to
April Tate.
Wakanda.
Go ahead,
America.
April Tate.
Go to
Oh,
Wakanda.
Hold on. Go ahead, April Tate. April Tate, unmute yourself, April
Hey,
Tate.
hello.
Hey, go ahead,
I,
April. Go
I
ahead.
I have forgotten the topic. What was the original question? How y'all doing tonight?
I asked Carla
April,
why he's not in Africa.
Because it's hard to relocate to Africa. I mean,
Oh
that's
man, now it's every excuse now.
well. I'm not trying to make. I don't even want to talk about that. To be honest with
That's
you.
the whole point. If you're gonna sit here and
no.
talk,
About a trade. April, what you want to talk about, baby? What you want to talk about,
I
April? Go ahead. What you
okay.
want to talk
So
about? Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
made a comment about the culture in general and the fact that I think black men created a culture of degeneracy and they do not want to take accountability for that. And every time you bring it up and you ask black men, like, how did we get here? Uh, there's always like a deflection where the woman is blamed or we put them out of the home. But the last time I checked, this was a patriarchy and men control the culture. So we are following. And this gentleman said that these men created this out of a desire for us,
Yeah, I agree
so
with that.
that
I
they
believe
can get our approval.
I
But
agree.
then what
Look,
does that say?
sister, I've seen it time and time again. There's nobody doing this stupid stuff unless there's females around that validate it. It was like that with the biker movement.
So
Every movement that comes along, you got to have it. The Black Panthers, right? How do you think the Black Panthers? When the Black Panthers were out there and everything, the seal of approval was the fact that they was to attract women in there and bring women in. The
I
Nation
know
of
the Black
Islam.
Panthers were
Hold on.
placed
Any
to
church,
keep
like
us
any
safe
church,
from the
you know how
KK.
you bring black. Oh, you know how you bring black men to the church? Women. You know, when they sit up there and they see you come be part of this, see one of the fine sisters, that could be your wife over there and whatnot. Everything but while women are just as much a part. Don't try to put this on all black men. It's like women, we are all both responsible equally for this shit we're
Okay,
going.
so where is your autonomy? Where is your ability to make conscious decisions based on what is good for you?
Well,
Why are you making decisions
I
based
do it
on
in my
how? Wait,
personal. Hold on,
wait, wait, wait. Let me
sister,
finish.
I
Why are
do it in
you
my
making
personal life. I
decisions
can't.
based
I
on?
can't.
Kyle,
Let me
let
finish.
us finish, Kyle. Let us
Why
finish,
are
Kyle.
you making decisions based on how much pussy you can get?
Well, I'm not talking. Look, I'm not talking about me. You know, that's not me. You know, I'm talking about that's just the way it is. And whoa. If you say that about men, where when women make their decision about how much money they can get out of men, let's be honest with ourselves. You know,
Carla,
let's
this all
So
don't
here
started
we
with
go
our
back
failure
to
to
the
protect
deflection.
black
We're
women.
going back
It
to
I'm
all
saying
the.
no.
started.
What I'm saying,
I am saying that we
I'm here to
live in a
protect. I protect my wife.
patriarchy.
Well,
That's
hold on, Kyle. I want to hear this. I want to hear the sister talk. I want to hear her
I
talk.
am saying we live in a patriarchy where men lead. The culture that we're a part of, the society,
you
it
believe
was
that
male driven. Now, whether their
was
motivation was because they wanted women, that's
was
fine.
was. It's
Okay,
not male.
that's
It's not male. It's not male. We live in a beta male society
Carla,
right
whose role is it to protect Black Wall Street? When they came in, when those men rode down the street, whose role is it? You gonna say it's a
Well,
woman's
bottom
role?
line, well, black
You
men,
gonna say it's a woman's
the
role?
bottom line, hold up.
it
You
is
cannot
No, are you
based
about to
instantly
say it's a
because the
protect.
woman's
We can
role?
only
onus on
protect
the
what you can
women
hold.
of
But
the
we could not
community.
protect that. You
You're
can't
putting
protect
the
anything in
onus
America
on the
because you don't
women
control
of the
anything.
you're putting the onus of the women of your community to
I'm
influence
not
you
look.
in a
I did not
way.
look.
Let
No,
me
I did not
finish.
say that. Look, don't put words in my mouth. I did not say that. I
You
said equally. We're part of it. Can you
are
agree with
you
that?
a leader of the community
Oh
or
yeah, but
not?
the bottom line is if you cannot hold up, you cannot lead if the women are going to do their own thing. There's no
The
black men. This is the problem. There's no black men
other
or
men do
have
not
you
have this
look, black men
problem.
are doing their own thing, right?
Okay, hold on.
And women are
I
doing
see
their
what
own
Kyle's
thing.
trying
Wait,
to say.
let
Hold on,
me
Kyle. Hold on,
finish.
Kyle.
Other
Well,
men,
April, let me interject real quick. I see what Kyle's trying to say. I'm gonna give you a prime example, and I always bring this up. Ice Cube. Ice Cube said, "Look, let's see what we could get for our vote as a black community." It was the women on Fox Soul.
Yep.
Nah, you can't. Nah.
They said, what about us women? We're not involved in it and whatnot, you know. He tried to lead and they shot him down.
You're talking
Nah.
about economically deprived people getting handouts from people and they're talking online because of that. You're talking about these talking heads on TV who are basically like
No.
cokeheads
That's not what
getting
that's
money.
that's not what happened. That's not
I'm
what
saying
happened.
that
That's
I'm
not what
money
not
is
happened.
familiar with
they're
that
getting
That's
paid
not
to
what
conversation
say
at
that.
happened.
They're
all.
That was
getting
not some
paid to say
talking
that.
heads. That was not some talking heads. That was an
They're
actual
getting paid to
proposal
say
by
that.
a presidential candidate. You know, but you reduce it to just some talking heads and everything. That's
No,
not
they're
what.
getting paid to say that because
No. Hold on.
we're from
Ice
people that
Cube.
are economically deprived.
Ice Cube did not have to go to Donald Trump. Which we call they went to
I'm talking
Fox
about the
Soul, right?
Fox Soul, the women on Fox Soul.
Hold up. They went to Fox Soul, right? And they were like, well, he said, look, this is what it is, right? Instead of saying that's a good idea, right? Let's get the bag, right? And then afterwards we could decide. They were like, why wasn't there no women in there with you decide? Well, that was a man-to-man thing. He was taking charge. Ice Cube's a patriarch. He went to Donald Trump and said, hey, look, this is what we want to do. So when he did that, the sisters got mad. We should have been involved. It should have been
There were
Stacey
black women
Abrams and all
supporting
that stuff
Ice
like that.
Cube
So
also.
you can't win for losing.
You're doing a lot of generalizing, but at the end of the
Well,
day, it's up to black men to protect. We can't, you
Oh,
can't
dude,
expect.
man. Dude, he just gave you an example. What are you talking about?
And I'm telling you, the reason they're doing that is because we don't have an economic
Oh,
base for them.
Lord, man.
They have to go there to get money.
Dinas, man. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking
so
about?
I
Everybody wants to
think it's
circumvent.
fair
But man
for
steps
black
up,
women.
and does that, right? And you
Wait.
basically you
If they could
undermine him
work for our
and you shoot
industries,
us
they wouldn't be
down,
over there
and
doing
then
that.
talk about, oh yeah, well, black men don't lead when that.
If they could
So
work for the black media, they
Okay,
wouldn't be
you
up
can't
there.
take. Wait. You can't just take one example and just put a
there's
blanket
many
statement.
examples. There's
of when
many
black men
examples.
were trying to lead the community. I can give you examples too of when we were led in a negative way, but
Well, do you have
where
any
we
examples?
are
Hold up. Do
now,
you, April? Do you have any examples of black men leading in a positive way? Tell me what your ideal version of
I
black
do,
men
but
leading.
that's not the point I'm trying to make.
Well, do you
So
have any? Are you being honest
Yeah,
with
I would
us?
say Claude Anderson when he said we should call ourselves Native Black Americans and do a study on how bad immigration hurt
Well, let's get
SBA.
Trey on here another night. He's
Hey, Claude
filibustering with this
No,
Anderson,
man,
nonsense.
let's straight talk. Let's straight talk, man.
thank you, man.
Let's straight
Claude
talk.
he's
Anderson
so
said
rude.
he said we need to do a study about how bad immigration is hurting foundational Black Americans.
What does?
Oh, now you
So
don't get
now
it,
it's
Claude. Now, Claude,
immigrants' fault.
no, since I didn't say it, you can't say something. Claude Anderson said this.
No. I don't care what Clyde Anderson says.
Yeah, he's a good example of somebody leading for positivity. You asked for it,
No,
I
and that's what he said.
But this
And he said we need a
immigration.
nationwide campaign for reparations. He said we should call ourselves Native Black Americans to distinguish from these people that come over here and tether themselves to us. And we need to look and do a study about all the ways immigration has hurt Black America.
April, do you agree with that?
It depends
April.
on what the. So okay, I can
I
understand.
know.
The learning
Yes or no? Do you
outcome.
agree with that?
Let me answer it the way I want to.
Okay.
If the outcome is that we're going to progress, then okay, let's do it. But I would rather see some progress. I don't think we need to be studied anymore.
Thank
at
you.
this
I agree
point.
with that.
I just would like to see something tangible where we can actually progress as a collective group. And I would love for Black men and Black women to work together. But I think we aren't the only ones suffering from this like gender war. I don't think it's just
No,
Black
we
people
are.
who.
I disagree.
I've
I don't see
seen
no
other
other group of.
channels.
I don't see no other group of people besides an African foundational Black American. Going through gender war. I don't see South African women and South African men. I don't see Nigerian women. I don't see Liberian.
And they're majority Black countries dominated by Asians right now.
So it does not matter. Even when
So
they come
Yes,
over
that's
here.
everything. That's
What
everything.
about in the UK? You
I
don't
don't
see them
think
going
they're
at it in the
living.
UK like
No,
that.
keeping on Africa, majority
Negroes-
Black nations dominated by a tiny percentage of foreigners. Explain that
I
pathology.
agree with
We
that.
have to explain
Give me
that
an example.
pathology. Amos Wilson
Hold up.
said Black people have to be insane for us to
What country you
be
talking about?
98% of the population
Hold up. What
somewhere and
country are you
dominated
talking
by
about? I'm
2%.
gonna let you. I'm gonna let
Amos
you
Wilson
explain.
said we have to be insane. So Africans in
Check this out.
Africa are
I'm gonna let
insane.
you explain.
What are you talking
He
about?
says
Now I won't
tiny
say
phone.
they're
What countries
insane.
he
That's
talking
a
about?
blanket statement. That's
I'm
not fair to
saying
say that.
98% getting dominated by 2%. You have to just look at that and
Where?
ask.
When colonization
That's not
happened,
true.
wait a minute.
That's
You
not
know
true.
Why was there an Asian beating somebody with a stick?
Hold on. April,
You
go
know
ahead,
when
April.
they
Go ahead, April.
colonized Africa, it was not a fair fight. Okay, they had guns and stuff like that. So that's how they got
I'm talking
there.
about
So let's not
2022. Who
say,
controls the resources?
April,
but
please
it
let me
wasn't a fair
help you out,
fight.
sir.
It
He's
was.
lying. 2% of Asians don't control nothing in Africa.
Okay, who controls the majority of the resources in South Africa?
African Black people do in Africa. What are you talking about?
So there's not a big street.
What resources you talking?
Wait, are you going to try to tell me that there's not four shanty towns full of Black people and then white people living well?
What resource are you talking about?
Give Kayla, we do not control.
Are you going to pretend that there's not shanty towns?
No. You said resources. Give me the name of the resource.
Money.
Like, we don't even. Where's the African
money's not a resource.
No.
Like,
oh, okay. Oh, all right, Carlo.
You don't know
all
what
right,
you're
Carlo.
talking about. Basically, you don't know what you're talking about.
All right,
you're talking out your ass again.
Okay.
As
always. I will say.
So Asians, not Chinese, aren't dominating Africa?
No, Chinese are not controlling everything.
So
okay, so what's up with why do they have a VIP line in Kenya?
Okay, so
VIP line.
I'm being honest.
They got shut down. So what?
VIP line in Kenya.
So there are
so I can't pull it up on YouTube right now.
Listen, I got a VIP line in Nigeria.
No, I'm just saying, could I pull something up on YouTube right now where there was some Asians getting VIP treatment?
No.
TH, let me tell you how it works, TH. Hold on, guys. Let me tell you how it works, TH. So in Nigeria and in Sierra Leone, before I show up, I'll call people at the airport at immigration.
I'm talking about Kenya right now.
I don't. We're not. Whatever.
Yeah, I know that. You don't want to touch that one. Okay.
Let me tell you how it works all over Africa. Okay. So in Nigeria and Sierra Leone, I make a phone call. Hey, this is when I arrive. Meet me on the tarmac, or meet me right when we get to immigration. I got somebody immigration that comes and get us and walks us through and does everything to baggage control and leads us out. If you know the right people, anybody can make a phone call. That goes for
So the
Leave
video I
the
watched was a
South.
lie.
I'm not saying it's a lie. Again, if business people
That
are
club got
coming
shut
into a
down. That club
country,
got shut down. They got
maybe
arrested.
hold on. If business people are coming
That won't
into a
happen in
country,
America.
they hold on,
Or
Tyler.
oh, go ahead, let him say my fault.
If business people are coming into a country, whether it be anywhere in Africa, Asia, Europe, here in America, they can make a phone call and they'll escort them through. I see it all the time. But anyway, but U.S. lawyer, go ahead, U.S. lawyer, go ahead, U.S. lawyer, U.S.
Can you hear
lawyer.
me? Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to say that I think the genesis of this problem started when they incentivized Black women to be having children outside of marriage. And then feminism came in and gave them a psychological justification for it.
Wow.
So that's where the genesis started at. And if you look at, if you can actually correlate the devolution of Black society with the number, the progression of out of wedlock births. And if you look at it, and even today, the most common denominator, common factor when you find Black males or Black females who are dysfunctional, they tend to come from female households. Those are just facts.
So is Ketanji Brown, the new U.S. Supreme Court Justice, is she dysfunctional too?
I don't know what that. What does that have to do with my comment? What I said?
Because you just put
That's a non
blanket
sequitur.
statement
That's a
over
non
all Black
sequitur.
women.
That's a non sequitur. It doesn't follow from what I
Why?
said. What is that? What's the connection?
Because you just put a
Did you
blanket
understand what I
statement
said?
over.
I said the genesis. I'm going to explain it again, see if you understand English.
No, I do
No,
understand.
I'm going to
English.
say it again. The genesis of the problem began when they incentivized Black women to have children outside of marriage. And then they gave them emotional justification. Feminism gave them emotional justification because it gave them this pretext of being an oppressed person. They didn't. And you can correlate the dysfunction of Black society with the number of out of wedlock births. Okay. You can do that in any society, and you can actually correlate the dysfunction in white society.
So
we have it more extreme.
How were we able to take the incentive? If Black men were in the home and they were providing for their children and family, why in God's name would we take an incentive to remove them from the home?
Well, a lot of Black men were not in. Okay.
Let
me tell you the false logic of that. You assume that these women are having children within a home. They're not. There's no marriage. That's what out of wedlock birth is. It means that you don't have a home. We have whole industry, whole shows that are built up now, like Maury, and we have what's the other one?
Jerry Springer.
Eternity Court and Jerry Springer. And you know those shows have been around. Those shows have been around Black women who don't even know who the fathers are today.
Since the 90s.
So that's the Black woman's fault.
Yeah, if you have a child and you don't know who the father is, it's your fault.
And you have 25 dudes you're testing.
And let me tell you the other problem with that is the man has no. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to answer your question before you get to it. The man has no responsibility for you getting pregnant. And I'm going to tell you why.
Wow.
That makes sense in 1950 and 60 because in those days you didn't really have any options. You have sex, you got pregnant. Nowadays, the only way a woman has a child out of wedlock is if she decides to, and if she unilaterally decides to, because women have 30-some forms of birth control. You can take birth control 6 months before, you can take birth control in the day of, you can take a pill after sex and not have a baby. So anytime a child is born today, it's because a woman has decided that it should be born. Anytime a child is born out of wedlock, it's because a woman made a unilateral choice because the man doesn't have a say in it. So what I'm saying is, if you want to start fixing this problem, the first thing they need to do is correct the laws to say that men are not responsible for a woman's child unless he's married to her.
That's
interesting. And then the next thing you have to do is disincentivize people. The problem you have is, I know women right now that have I know one right now I'm thinking of has 6 children by 5 men. She gets like $1,800 a month in food stamps alone, housing. She sells half the stamps. So they can't even eat all that food. So what I'm saying is we've incentivized this kind of behavior. And the problem is that I'll add one other factor to this. It's the lack of a culture, because the problem we have is we don't make our culture. In other words, culture is where the community can set standards and enforce them. The problem is that we can't set standards and enforce them.
Right, so, exactly.
And that's what culture is. And the problem is when you don't control your culture. Now, prior to this, when we had segregation, blacks controlled
Yeah.
their culture. They had their own
Right.
communities, had their own cultures, and they were thriving. And in them days, if you had a child out of wedlock, the black women in the community would be on your ass. You don't have to worry about the men; the women would be on you. These
You
days,
want
Again, we're
these
Floyd,
days,
I'm sure
these
you
days,
remember a
the
always
time where
girls.
black men are always trying to get to a point where there is no accountability.
Well, if you have a
what are you,
child, nobody. No,
what are you
wait, wait.
talking
You
about?
If
don't
you
want
have
to
a
be
child out of
responsible for
wedlock,
your
you should
sperm.
be accountable
You don't
for
want
it.
to be accountable
You
for
should
your
be accountable
sperm.
for the
You
children
don't
that come
want to
out
be
of your
accountable
womb.
for the community, for
They
the
should be
lack
accountable
thereof.
if they're
You
married,
don't
if
want
they
to be
made a choice.
accountable for
We want to be
anything.
accountable for the
And
children we
that is
choose
the
to have.
problem.
The children we choose to have,
That
not the
does not
children you
work in
choose
a
to have. The
patriarchal
ones you
society.
choose to have, you be responsible for.
You had sex
The
with a
ones,
woman.
no, you can go
You
get
had
sperm at a
sex.
sperm bank. You don't even have to get sex. You got a freebie because
Okay,
you got
hey,
sex
let's keep
along
this
with it.
constructive, right?
You can
A
go to a
sex
I'm not
sperm
here
bank
for
and
the
get
Kevin
I
sex.
can't
Samuels talk.
believe
I
that
was just
you
here
I don't care
to
what you
say
hear
that
from. I'm not
I
even
was
talking to
asking.
you. I'm not. Nobody's talking to you.
Oh no, yeah, I got rid of him. Go ahead. Yeah, I don't see that.
Okay,
Go ahead. Yeah,
you can
Floyd.
go get sperm from a sperm bank. Women today are
We are
doing that. So
talking about women who
the
are
only
having
person who
sex
has
with
a
men.
choice in this is you.
We are talking about women who are having sex with men, not going to a sperm bank.
What's the difference? Your bottom line is still getting pregnant. Let me ask you something. Why should a man who makes a direct deposit, who doesn't want to have a child, just wants to have sex, the woman gets the benefit of the sex too. So it's not like she doesn't get something out of it. Why should he be obligated to support a child?
So
That's
here's the
not part of
thing.
the agreement.
I
And answer me a
believe
question.
that if a
If
man
that's
and a
not part of
woman,
the agreement, why should he be
I
obligated?
believe if a man and a woman have sex and they aren't in agreement and she gets pregnant and they aren't in agreement to have a child together, I don't think the woman should even want to have that child. I don't think it should be some sort of a bargaining tool where she gets to say, well, I'm going to do it. No, if I am impregnated by a man who doesn't want a child with me, I do not want his child. And I think that just makes sense.
Okay, but let me ask you something else. Think about today. There's so many ways you can wake up the day after. You can wake up 3 days after you have sex and take a pill and make sure you don't get pregnant because you'll
That's
never
true.
get pregnant.
And a man
So,
can get a vasectomy. He
but
can
why
wear
would a man?
clothes.
But why does a man need to
Why
take a permanent
should this
procedure? Like,
not be?
I tell you what,
This
men
should
should get
be a
vasectomies
mutual
when men get
decision.
pregnant. I'll tell you what, men should get vasectomies when men get pregnant or when men are married. Because the bottom line is it's your body, it's your choice, it should be your responsibility. No rights without correlative responsibilities. You shouldn't be claiming a
don't
right
agree
without
with that.
accepting responsibility. I know, because you
I
don't want
don't
to
agree
tie
with
your rights to your responsibility. You want
I
rights with no
take
responsibility.
responsibility along with him. We're both
But he
responsible.
didn't decide. How are you going to take responsibility with somebody who didn't have a choice in it?
Well, the act itself is a responsibility between that
No,
man
that's
and
just
that
having
women.
sex. And women have
it's a
sex. You can
responsibility
have
for the
sex. I'm going to tell you something. You can have sex and not be a parent unless you decide. Why shouldn't a man have the same right?
I think I told you that I don't agree that a woman should carry a child that the man does not want to have.
Okay,
I
but I'm
agree with you
saying
on
a
that.
woman can have sex and not be financially responsible unless she wants to, with the exception of, and why shouldn't a man, unless he's in a marriage, have the same rights? Why shouldn't he be able to have, you both enjoy the sex? Why shouldn't he be able to have sex?
I think women should not want children with men who don't want to have children with them.
But they do.
Well, that's their choice.
And you know what? And the problem is, you know who pays? The children.
Yeah, they do, because the father is not going to be invested and he's not going to be involved. I agree.
Because let me tell you about the biological differences.
Stop having black men's children collectively.
But the problem is, black women are having children out of wedlock at high rates with all men. It's not just black men.
I don't know about that. I've never seen any data on that.
Well, there's statistics. Matter of fact, I'll give you some statistics. I'll go look it up for you, but I'll give you statistics. Black women had 1 million more children out of wedlock, and I don't know the exact time frame, than black men.
Okay,
so that means that black women were having children with 1 million more men of other colors.
Well, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell Dynast, man. Not like it was before. These females are having
black women should not have to feel
kids
ashamed
with
for having
white
children.
boys, Asians.
Well, yeah, you should be ashamed. That's the problem. That's where you made the mistake at.
No,
you should be ashamed when you bring a child into this world. Let me tell you something.
Take pride in the process of making children.
No other community.
Only black women.
This whole concept of having bastardized children came from white people.
A badge of shame.
No,
because they are impregnated by black men. It is
no,
not
only black women believe that they
not a shameful thing to have children.
Just because other
no,
people.
it's not. No, it's not.
Let me tell you
the
something.
thing is,
what is shameful is for men to indulge in their degenerate behavior and continue to be
But
promiscuous
why?
and walk
His
away
thing
and
is,
practice
I
How's
don't
it gonna be?
understand
old
something.
age
I don't understand
If
why
if,
is
old
it
if
that
men
talking
indulge
dumb
in the
culture
degenerate and the
that
women
they
indulge in the
created.
degenerate behavior too?
No, you
U.S.
created a
lawyer? Let me ask this question. Let me ask this
Black
No,
question.
no, no,
American
no,
men
no, no.
instead of
Let me ask this
You
focusing on the
question.
decide
fact
April,
alone to
that we
create
are
a
in
child.
one
yo,
of
check
the
this out.
wealthiest
She said
countries
she
in the
said
You know what
world.
it is?
degenerate
Based on
behavior.
Okay,
Responsibility.
okay,
But she doesn't
okay.
call
Whoa,
having.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
U.S.
whoa, whoa.
lawyer,
Hold
you
on,
have
one
been
mic, one
talking
mic,
for a
one
long
mic,
time.
one mic.
It's
Hold,
time
hold
for
on,
you
one
to
mic.
be quiet, U.S.
April, we
April,
can't. April,
mute
calm,
mute
calm
her.
down. Goodness. All right, caller, ask your question. All right, there. Ask your question, caller. One mic, one
Okay, the
mic.
question is this though. She said black men, and what you call Lewis will confirm this, that mostly black men who have kids out of wedlock are only a tiny percentage of the thing. Majority of black men don't have children, you know, and so it's only a fraction of black men
That's
that
a
they keep,
lie.
like I said, that they keep
About
having kids with.
16%.
Yeah, 60%. You know, the bottom line, they
16.
keep having 60. We'll say, but then again, then also you got other races having children with black women. So why is she bringing this on black men? And
But
then they
here's the
said the
thing.
black men who do have children are more than any other group of people in their kids' life. You know,
But
helping the
That's
homework,
a
percentage of
feeding the
lie.
kids.
the
That
percentage of
hold
black
up,
men.
That's not a lie.
Tell me,
April, that's
you
not a
can't
lie.
let her get away with that.
That's
Black
not
men
a
are
lie.
always in more than any other group who participate in their kids' life than any
Put this
other
in
group.
like his life. Any other
That's a
But
group.
she's
lie.
repeating stuff she heard online from Cynthia G and Paris Milan and coming over here to make time.
I have no
Well,
idea who that
but
is.
his
You know,
and
yes,
what he
you
said
do.
is true.
Yeah.
That was, I forget the study, but that was by the government that said black men are most involved. But here's the deal:
That's a
the
lie.
black. Let me tell you what the black
It's
The
men
a,
who are
government
it,
the
lied.
it's
black
a
men
lie.
who are
You can live with your narrative.
the black men who are having these children. It's less than 20% are having these out of wedlock children, and they're almost always the children raised of the single black woman because they're raised with their mother's lifestyle. They see that as a lifestyle, and they're taught it by their mothers.
Are you done, U.S. lawyer?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Are you the leader of the culture or not? Are
What
black
culture?
men?
What culture?
Culture. We
Okay,
don't have it.
okay.
Y'all took that
Are
away
We
from
you
don't.
us.
We
the
don't
leader
have a
of the
culture.
collect?
What
Y'all
Okay,
put
culture?
Bill Cosby. They put
okay.
Bill Cosby away.
Let's
Black women were
okay.
cheering when Bill
I don't
Cosby
want to
went
play
away. This
semantics.
And
guy's
women
freaking good.
are
I
the
don't want
ones
to
who
play semantics.
women
And
are the
Women
ones
who
being called
destroyed
Hey,
Bill
well,
culture.
Cosby.
hold on. Let April talk.
calm
Let April
down.
talk. Let April
You
talk.
see,
Go ahead, April.
I can't even get in a word before I'm like
Go ahead,
attacked.
April.
So
Y'all be quiet.
rude.
Let April talk. Go ahead, April. Go
Jeez.
ahead. Go
Are
ahead.
you the leaders of our group? I don't want to play semantics. We don't have to call it a culture. We can say of the group. Are you the leaders or not?
Yeah, but
I'm,
yeah, we
I'm the
are. But
leader
the
of my
bottom line is
Okay,
family.
no one
stop
listening.
right there.
Of my
We're
So
family.
leaders,
as
but
a
we don't have
leader,
followers. You can lead, you don't have followers.
as
You don't
okay,
follow.
Caller, let
that's
us
fine.
finish, caller. Go ahead.
As a leader of the collective of black people living in a patriarchal society, what is your role and your responsibility as the men?
It's to take care of our wives.
Okay, just
Yeah.
your family,
Yeah, it's a
just your
collective.
family.
All the black men who
Okay.
have families is together to get together and take care of our wives.
So
Because
what about the
we've made a
ones that are
decision to be part of a community where we have a family.
so what about the ones that are running like rampant, destroying the community, the
Oh,
ray
that's what
race?
we're here to
Those should be
talk
the
about.
responsibility of the single mothers who bore them and the fathers who had them. And that's a
Okay,
small
so that
percentage of black men. And also, and that primarily should be the responsibility of the mothers because a lot of these mothers don't even know who the fathers are. And they never had an expectation that the father would even be around. A lot of these is just one night stands. This is booty calls. This is hot girl summer. That kind of nonsense is going on. The promiscuity of black women is
We don't
creating
have
a problem in the black
virtuous
community.
black women.
Hey, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Do your thing, Lori Harvey. Do your thing, Lori Harvey. Do your
That's what I'm saying. They're praising
thing.
Lori Harvey and whatnot.
Lori Harvey, you
Oh,
guys,
here we go.
let's just stay focused. Let's just stay focused. So it is our responsibility. You're essentially saying it is our responsibility to not want to mate or to be with you and have these children.
No, it's your responsibility to get married before you have a child. Pick a man, a stable man, and marry him and have a child. Because I'm going to tell you why. Here's what we
I
know
want to hear what you have
statistically.
to say about Lori
Let
Harvey.
me tell you about statistically. 98% of men, 98% of men who are married when the child is born will stay actively and financially involved in that child's life even after divorce. And I've done hundreds of divorces. I've done hundreds of dissolutions. I'm telling you. Married men, because, and the reason is because it's psychological. When a woman's carrying a child, she gets psychologically bonded because it's in her. Man does not have that connection to a child till after the child's born. So a man generally bonds to a woman through the mother. If he has a strong connection to the mother, like his wife, he's committed to her, then he automatically committed to the child, or just after the fact. But it's not as natural, and it's a more tenuous bond with the child than a woman has. So if women, all black women want to do to solve this problem is simply say,
Just stop
unless I'm
sleeping with black
married, I
men.
will not be having a child. That's it. End of
Just
story.
stop. No, I don't think marriage is a guarantee to have a healthy
But I
relationship.
just said 98% of fathers will stay
I don't know where
financially
you're getting
active.
that statistic from, U.S. lawyer. So
Oh
I,
my
you know
god.
what?
Oh my
This
god.
is what the
Prince,
anytime
don't do
Oh
that.
my
Prince,
god.
do not do that. Don't do
I
that.
listen. I can tell you what that statistic, because I've done hundreds of divorces and I know what the statistics are. 98% of fathers who are married to the mother at the time of birth will remain active
I
in the
don't believe
child's
that.
life regardless.
Oh my
You don't
I
god.
have
don't
to
Oh,
believe
believe
that.
it. You don't want to believe it
oh
because
my god.
it distorts. What happens is it disrupts your view that you need to hold.
I don't need
Your
to hold
basic view
anything. I'm
is
a
that men
listen.
should be responsible for the out of wedlock children that women choose unilaterally to have. They should be jointly responsible for your unilateral
You said
decision.
they should or shouldn't.
They should. You said men should be unilaterally responsible for your. They should be jointly responsible for your unilateral decision. That's where the law needs to change.
Well, that I don't agree, but I think that other groups they actually think about themselves in a collective way, and they do take responsibility for the people
Here
in
we
their
go. The
community. And
collective.
there
We
Let's
is
talk
a
all
about. I'll tell you
understand.
about
standard.
other groups. Here's the
There's a
difference. Other
standard,
groups. White
but
women
you're
don't have
saying
all
that
these children out of wedlock. They can have all the sex they want and not have children. Why is it black women have that problem? White women can have all sex. They're just as sexually
I
active.
think
Trust me,
we're
I know enough
fertile,
white
and
women,
that's not a
and they
bad
don't get
thing, U.S.
pregnant.
lawyer. We're fertile. They have trouble
They're
having
not
children,
infertile.
though.
They're not no more
We
infertile
are
than you.
very
Come on now.
fertile. We come
No,
from
they
one of
they,
the
they know
most
what it is.
fertile
They're
All
places
right.
in the
responsible.
world.
It's called
We
being
are fertile. It
responsible.
is what
It's
it
called being
is.
responsible.
And that is
No matter
something we
how
should
fertile
be
you are, you
happy to.
won't get pregnant if you're
You wouldn't
responsible.
be here if we weren't fertile. We're
No,
fertile. We
I'm here
can't help
because
it.
my mother, who was married to my father, had sex with him. That's why I'm here. But this has you can be
Marriage
fertile.
is
You can be as
not a
fertile as you
guarantee.
want to. You can be as fertile as you want to. Well, that's your excuse for not being married. But you can be as fertile as you want to and still not have a child because you have sex. You can enjoy sex without a child. Why do you couple it? 60% of black women now have children by multiple men.
I think because the man and the woman were both irresponsible.
Okay,
But
well,
you want to put the onus
but
on the
who has
women,
the
that's
final? You know, I'm
fine.
gonna tell you something. There's something in the law called the last clear chance. We should apply. What the last clear chance says is this: if two people, like if we were two people were driving along, and we were doing a joint venture, like say sex or driving a car as a joint venture, and there was an accident, the person who would be most responsible would be the person who had the last clear chance to prevent it. That should be applied to pregnancy because the person with the last clear chance to prevent it is always the woman. And
Okay.
so,
If you just
and
want
women
to give
used to
up,
know that. Black women used to be able to do that. Why is it black women can't do what they used to do 50 years ago? Black women
why
used
do
to be able
you
to
need
control their
someone else
wombs.
to control you?
Not me. You are not controlling your body. It's not
You're
me.
not controlling where you release your seed. I mean, why do you
Yeah,
need me
because
to help you?
my seed, the bottom line is what my seed does and what it does to your
Or
body, it's in your body. What it does to your body depends on what you do.
listen, that's fine. We can agree to disagree.
That's
That's fine.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think it's a dual responsibility.
But
You
what
think it's
I'm
on the
offering
woman.
is a solution. Your way is not a solution. Here's a solution. I can tell you 100% solution. Just women develop a culture where you say you hold each other responsible. And you say, "Girl, it's your body. You need to be responsible. Don't be having children out of wedlock."
But there's
Problem
no okay.
solved.
So let's say we do that, right? Let's say we do that, and then we stop having children with these guys and out of wedlock, and then we reduce the number of children that are here, and then we don't have as many women who are raising children alone. What about the degenerates that are already here? Is there anything that we can count on black men to do about them as far as cleaning up the neighborhoods? Because other cultures have done this.
What other cultures
So
have done it? Tell me what other cultures have had this problem and done
I'm
it.
trying to think of that article I read. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was a Latin American culture where they locked up like all of the gangbangers Let me see if I can find that
Come
article.
to the Philippines. Oh, you just want to lock them up? We're
Not
gonna
in
lock
this
them up,
country.
man.
Not in this country.
It wasn't here, but they cleaned house, and this president
but
was like,
well, you
they
have a
said it was like
solution.
Well,
a
the bottom
civil
line,
rights
we can't do that in
violation.
America
Wait,
because we have a thing called the Constitution. You can't just lock somebody up, even
well,
the
you can.
criminals. You know what I'm saying?
They have organizations like
I'm,
Mad Dash.
I can
and
tell you how to
things like
stop this.
that.
From a policy standpoint. All you have to do is say this.
As a black
If
woman,
you have
I
a
want to
second
live
child,
in a
first of
safe
all,
environment.
if you have a child out of wedlock, then make you solely responsible for it. And you know what? All that out of wedlock will stop. It'll
We
dry up.
had moved past that, U.S. lawyer. I said is that if black women decided to do that and they take complete ownership of who they had children with, I agree we should do that, right? We can agree on that. Not even making it about the men at all, just all women coming together. I'm fine with that. But can we count on black men for anything as far as a collective, like protection or?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Let me answer that. Let me answer.
Well, hold on, Carla, hold on. Somebody brought up a great point at Detroit 300.
No,
Black
they
men,
no support.
Black men in the streets trying to do the thing, and the community shut them down.
Right. Yep. Detroit 300
was trying to protect them.
Oh, come on. So how old are you, April? By
I'm grown.
No.
I'm
You're
grown.
just grown, and there's
A
mature
little bit too
grown.
much feminist studies.
Yeah, I say you haven't lived life, or I want to believe you're not stupid, but you're real young. Yeah, I guess because bottom line, all this stuff you told, you're singing to the choir. We had Detroit 300. We had all kinds of stuff like that. One of the reasons why these groups are
well, I'll give you another example. Remember the brother? Remember when the brother? It was at the nail salon, and the Koreans were being, or the Chinese Koreans.
Yeah,
whatever, Tyrone. The brother came. The brother came.
This fool
said, we're gonna boycott this shit. Took a brick, threw it through the glass window of the nail
2 days
salon.
later, them sisters were back there.
Yeah, not 2 days later. The next day.
The next day, they were back there like, I don't care what that fool did. This stuff.
I don't care what he did. It illicit. He's like, hold on, I did, try to shut it down. These Asians are being disrespectful to you. They got mad at him.
Okay, so you're saying it's impossible. You can't do it.
It's impossible.
Black females in America
we gave him a solution.
I've been said that.
Why don't you
wait. Go. Wait. One at a time.
I've been said it's doomed. I've said Black America is doomed. I've been said that.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's doomed.
The bottom line. Let me say
we survived a lot. We'll come back out of this.
Nah, we ain't come back out of this, bro.
Check this out.
I don't think so either.
Bill Cosby was out there, right? I remember there was some. Remember that one light skinned chick that ran topless when Bill Cosby got indicted, and it was a black female that prosecuted Bill Cosby. Or something happened in California. So the black females had it out for Bill Cosby because he was a patriarch and all stuff like that. Or something that happened to some old crusty white women. It was black women who was cheering when Bill Cosby was there. And then online, black women when he was about to get out, no, he needs to get locked up or now. A man who's given millions of dollars to Spelman, Black Female University, give $100 million to black causes and black women and everything. Put so many people on, put so many black people on. And the whole thanks was, this nigga ain't up making Bill Cosby jokes or whatever. I ain't gonna have no Jello pudding possible. That's niggas.
That's black culture.
The bottom line is that's what we're talking about tonight. That's what we're talking about tonight. And the reason why is because none of us. I'm one that's gonna confront this. That's not us. I remember how we used to be. The nigga culture in Black America is taking over. The excuses, all the nonsense and everything. Women do what the hell they want to do and everything. That ends. With me.
Well, and the black women, they prefer the drug dealers and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I know somebody that was saying, I know enough of what black women prefer.
I hate that argument about black women preferring the guys who have nothing.
They did a street interview. Diners, remember that? What type of member you were?
There's been a bunch of interviews that have said
that.
That's
always the brother who didn't get any play, claiming that black.
Well, I can tell. I'm not the brother that didn't get any play. I am not the brother. I got my play in somebody else's.
I got my play. I grew out of that stuff.
Usually comes from brothers who didn't
I know.
I know.
The difference is those kind of black women I didn't deal with.
They always make it seem like because the type of women I went with, right? I didn't have to do all that. I didn't have to do all that drug dealing. Those dudes that had to sell drugs.
Well, hold on. We got to go ahead and unmute yourself, Josh. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, this was very interesting, and I'm not even watching the NBA Finals right now. But
Josh, you calling from your Nokia, your T-Mobile Sidekick 1G, bro? It's
no, I got T-Mobile. Here, can you hear me now?
No. You definitely on that T-Mobile Sidekick. Oh yeah, that's that trap phone. You're on your Metro PCS trap phone.
Give me 1 second.
You got hang up and call right back. Hang up and call back in. It's yeah. Okay, hold on. We got one more call. Hold on. Go ahead, James. Unmute yourself, James.
Hey, what's up, Donis?
Hey, what's going on?
So first of all, let me answer the question to Miss April. I work in the prison system.
Mm-hmm.
And what the lawyer is saying, I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I find it quite fascinating when I see the most beautifulest Black women send the most provocative pictures to hardcore criminals, especially when we do these shakedowns in these rooms. I'm talking about sisters who have degrees, sisters who are doctors, lawyers. I mean, if you don't want to believe it, I'm gonna tell you straight up.
I know it happened.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You say you know what happened, but when the U.S. lawyer actually presented that case, you were automatically dismissive.
I don't remember him presenting that specifically the way that you are right now, but I do know that happens.
Miss April, so let me ask you another question. Do you believe that Black women are the most highly educated in the United States?
That's what they say. I'm not sure, though.
Okay, so if you're not sure, why is that when these gentlemen presented the fact that Black men, about 60% of them, actually don't have children, you dismiss that very quickly?
Because there's so many children that are being raised out of wedlock. And so who are making them? Like,
the ones in jail, they're sending jail pictures, stuff like that,
that's a bit of a reach. But I mean, we didn't make the children, but with just one man. We didn't make the children with the same guy.
Well, a lot of you did. A lot of group of you. Matter of fact, you have 4 or 5 women with kids by one guy.
Miss April. Miss April.
Yes, there are a lot of women who have multiple children with one guy.
No, you'll have 4 or 5 different women with a child by one guy, and that guy was usually raised by a woman, and that's his culture. That's what, because he's seen men coming in and out of his house all along. He thinks that's what life's supposed to be.
No, the culture itself promotes degeneracy in Black men.
No.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let me. Hold on. I want to hear Jane. I want to hear. Hold on. I gotta hear.
Wait, we have been rewarded to promote these men who are like players. They have been rewarded heavily in our community. Men who have multiple children. The Futures, the Nick Cannon. So this is the example. It is not because the boy grew up in a home where he saw multiple men. It is because we put on the big screen these men with multiple children, and we show our boys that they
can who respects Nick Cannon? Come on.
They can be rewarded and accepted by our community, regardless of how degenerate they are.
You kind of makes a point, because look at the Nick Cannon. All these women know that Nick Cannon is making all these babies, and they're still having them by him. Why?
But why are the men not saying that this is not the right behavior?
The men are saying that, but we're not the ones having sex with them. It's you women doing it.
Stop the show. Listen.
Who is saying that?
Hold on. This is the problem, April. You had a guy like Kevin Samuels who said, "Listen, marry before." Women. Oh my God! Here we go.
He got famous, but he was coming at the men the most, man.
No one said anything to Nick Cannon. I have not heard one man say, "You know what, Nick is having too many children."
Miss April, let's make this clear. First of all, Nick Cannon can afford to do those things.
Oh God!
No. Miss April, I'm sorry, but we live in a reality.
He got millions of dollars.
Yes, Miss April.
So again, you're accepting the degenerate behavior.
No. Miss April.
So as a woman, if I have a lot of money, can I have several children by different men because I got money?
Yes, you can, because
no, it's because you're a woman. Women should have different.
No. Miss April, let me make this quite clear to you. In the Western world, it is not patriarchy. But in other parts of the world, is accepted, but it's accepted by a rule.
I don't want to hear
If
this
you can,
polygamy
no, Miss
bullshit.
April, because
No,
no, it's not bullshit. Because you live in a confined space.
I
Just
don't
like
want to
you don't
hear the
want to listen.
polygamous
No, of
argument.
course you don't want to listen to it because you will always demonize men as a generality. The problem is that many of you women live in a facetious world. You sit
Facetious
here and then you
world?
make these critical judgments about overall black men and generalizations, and do not realize that most black men from the time of basically the 80s, the 60s until now have evolved. You can't accept that black men have basically gone to college more. You can't accept black men have achieved more. That is the issue with the modern day woman. You want to hold on to old narratives that do not exist. The only narrative that exists is that most women in our community have gone buck fucking wild.
Yeah, we have.
There's
I
no.
never did. I mean, I agree with that.
So at the end of the day, why can't you accept that black men have actually done better?
I
Black
do
men are
think they
actually
have
imp-
in
Yeah,
some
hey,
aspects.
James, what state do you live in?
I live in the state of Massachusetts, brother.
Okay, I mean, down here in Virginia, black men are killing. You got black men that own construction companies and everything like that. They said 65% of black men are in the middle class.
But those
They
men are
said
boring.
they said 2% of black men,
It's
like
not
10% of
about
black
boring. Come
and
on,
Those
Miss
are
you're
boring
the
men.
one
Miss
that's
April,
looking for a thrill.
and these guys
Miss
got
April,
money and everything like that. The only thing they don't have is black women. We don't have the
Miss
they don't have the
April,
women around. You know, that's why they're
Miss
going to
April,
Africa.
Do they have
Carla.
integrity? Are
No,
they
Miss
What do you mean they
fair?
don't
April,
have?
hold
If
on.
they
Are
work
they
in a business and
oppressive?
everything,
Well, if
Miss
you
April,
have a
hold
Do
on.
child
they
out
have
of
good
wedlock, you have
character?
no
It's not
integrity.
just about
If
money,
you have a
guys.
child
Miss
out of
April,
wedlock, you
hold
have
on,
no
Guys,
Carla.
it's
integrity.
Hold
not
on,
just about
Let me.
money.
I just got a question. I have a question for Miss April. How can you say it has nothing to do with money when you know
I said it's not
financially?
just about money.
No.
For
Okay,
most
you say
black
it's
women,
not
it is
just about
today.
money. But let
No,
me make
no,
this
it's
point.
not.
Miss April, I find this quite awkward that a black woman would say it's not just about money when you
It's
know
not.
95, hold on, let me finish. 95% 95% to help raise a child in a productive society has to have a huge amount of money to make that child to be the most successful. I don't understand why women like to move this goalpost. Well, it's not about money. It's not about the then
I
at
said
the
it's
end of the
not just about money. It's not just about money alone. That's why I don't agree with
Miss
Nick
okay,
Cannon.
if you can't look at Nick Cannon because when he was married, right? He did what he did, and now he does something else.
But you know
So
what?
at the end of the day, what's
Most black men I've talked to don't accept Nick Cannon.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I don't
And
see the kind
somebody
of like
said
that.
They think he's
those men,
disgusting.
those black men who
But
got
black
money.
women seem to
The
have
whole thing
less.
is
Black women seem to have less aversion for Nick Cannon probably than black men. Because I haven't talked to any black men
Nick Cannon's a
think
whole
what
ass
Nick
clown.
Cannon who think he's
Wait, what were you
honorable.
saying, U.S. lawyer? You haven't talked to any black men who
Who
what?
think that Nick
We think
Cannon
he's a
is doing
clown,
something
man.
honorable. I
Yo,
he's a
haven't talked to a
clown.
black
Yeah.
man who thinks that Nick Cannon is honorable.
So can we just look at the culture as a collective? Have we
What is the
not
culture? We don't
rewarded?
have a culture.
We
Well,
don't
I
have a
gotta agree
culture.
with
I'm gonna
that.
tell you,
you
we
look
don't
at
have a
you look
culture.
at all
Listen,
his TV
to
shows
have
they're
a
coming
Education
out with.
group.
I'm gonna
I
tell you, to
agree.
have a
It's
culture,
not.
you have to be able to control. In other words, there has to be a group of people who are able to, who, in some sense, discipline people, to penalize people, and
What?
to designate what the culture
Hey,
is. If you go,
U.S.
for
lawyer,
instance,
U.S. lawyer,
if you go to a country with a
U.S. lawyer.
culture,
Let me ask you a
let me
question.
finish what I'm saying. If you go to a country with a culture, let's say if you go to Saudi Arabia or if you go to some countries in Africa, if you get out of line, the community has their culture, and everybody in that community will let you know. A vast
It's
majority of
on
people will
code.
let you know. Right.
Let me ask you a question.
And
Let me ask you a question.
they can actually enforce it. Because if you do some
Check this
things
out.
that
It's
you're not
So
called.
supposed
It's
you're
to do,
called.
they
saying
can
because
enforce it.
black men don't have power, basically, we
No,
don't have a culture.
We don't have
Yes,
power over the
because it's
masses.
because you can't have power over somebody you can't have power over somebody
We
who
don't
can
have
have
power
a
over
child.
Well, hold on,
Here's
yes,
what I'm
hold
saying.
on. Danielle,
No,
I
you
need you.
just said you can
Hey, hold
discipline.
on, hey, calm down. Danielle, you got cut off the playback, Danielle. Danielle, you got cut off the playback, Danielle.
But let me tell you something. Here's the way the law is. If you have a child now I have power in my household if I'm married to the mother.
Okay, we
But
get
in
that.
most states, let me explain. Most states, if you have a child out of wedlock, until you go to court to establish paternity, and that doesn't give you the right to do certain things. That doesn't necessarily mean custody, just paternity, the right to pay money. But until you do that, the mother has sole custody. I mean, she makes all the decisions, so you have no power over that child.
Mr. U.S.
And
Attorney.
So when I
I-
use the word culture, I'm using it loosely. I'm talking about the way of life.
Okay, hold on,
we
Mr.
don't have a
Attorney.
way. We don't have a way of
U.S.
life.
Attorney, I have a question for you. Since Miss April brings up this concept of culture, tell me if this is acceptable. You have a U.S. Senator, Maxine Waters, giving praise to a jump off.
To not only giving praise to a former, really, she was a prostitute who robbed black men, who robbed men for money.
And you talking about, and this is a grown 80-year-old woman.
Who is this? Who is this?
Maxine Waters for
No, but who's the person?
Cardi B.
Not Cardi B, the other one, the tall one from
No,
Texas.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan
Megan
Her
Stallion.
too.
What society in
That's what
culture
I'm saying.
adores that type of behavior? You don't see men,
Right.
political men, adoring certain behaviors in certain parts of our society in the black community as a whole, publicly.
Wait, we
and
don't
also,
see what?
and if you talk about the whole phase, that's now being glorified. That's the black woman's culture.
I agree.
The WAP phase, you know, I don't even
The
want to
what?
repeat that.
I agree.
WAP.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying? So the bottom line, black women, also women, when Jada Pinkett had that movie out, A Girl's Trip, that was an abomination. Now, she's tanked since that. When I said, this is disgusting. Middle-aged woman, let me say something, April, right? Let me say something, right? We have to bring back Gam Gam. You know what Gam is? Grandma. Every last single woman that was 50 or over talk about looking at a guy's dick on a stage. This is an abomination. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
April,
culture is.
Hold on, U.S. lawyer. April, you got women in their 40s talk about hot girl summer.
I don't agree with any of that.
But let me tell you what culture.
But
My wife's from Madagascar.
There's a such thing as cause and effect. Okay,
Let me
this
tell you-
is the result of a lack of leadership in our community.
No,
it's a result of black women choosing to be women choosing financial means over family. Because you get paid. You don't get if you have a husband, you don't get money from the government. Okay, if you decide to just go out and have a child.
Lawyer, can we be honest and let's not pretend like these women had options. Like the men weren't. Wait, let me finish, U.S. lawyer, please. The men, I do not believe, had a lot of abundance to provide to begin with, especially given the circumstances in this country. Okay. It was a hell of a transition from slavery into this freedom, going through all of the changes that we did as a collective. So when we talk about choosing being provided for, I don't think that black men really were holding their own as a collective group. Okay.
Miss April, I have a question for you. Why is that? And I'm reading a book on women of the Confederacy. During the Civil War, white men got their ass whooped. And you have poor Southern white women still hold their men in the poor section at high prestige. So when you bring up this notion that black women didn't have or black men didn't have resources, that makes no logical sense because you have the opposite race doing the totally opposite thing that black women do. And this was during the Civil War.
Well, so you're pro-white woman.
Up till 1960, 85% of. But here's the thing: James, up till 1960, before we had all this affirmative action and all these, right, before we could live where we wanted to, we didn't have all this affirmative action and we didn't have these opportunities. Okay, up until 1960, 85% of black children lived in two-parent homes.
Exactly.
And so it has nothing. It's really not about a lack of opportunity. What it was is they opened the door to black women, and now you can get a check and not be in the home and do what you want to do, and they chose it.
You really think that a woman is going to choose a check over a whole man who is providing for her?
I know women right now. I'm going to tell you something. I know women right now. I know women right now who I've said, why don't you get married? They don't want to get married because if they get married, they have to rely on their government, on their husband. What if he loses his job? But now they got free housing. They get food stamps. They get all this other stuff.
Lawyer, he was not able to perform his duties.
No, but
No,
But the
Miss
problem
April.
is this. I'll tell you what used to happen. What used to happen is if the man lost his job. So I'll tell you
Okay, so
something.
you guys
What used
want
to
her
happen
to
is if the man
struggle.
lost his
You
job,
want her to
the
stay
woman would
in the struggle with you. We
definitely,
get
yeah,
it.
because
We
because
get
Miss
it.
April.
We
it
get
used
it.
to be if
Miss
a man lost his job, his
We
woman
get
say
it.
she'd be like, "Baby, I don't
You
care what it
want
is,
black
we're gonna make
women
it
to
through."
stay
And you
in
know
the
what
Miss
they, you know what
April.
struggle.
they had, and they had stronger families.
You have
They
Miss
had
had,
April.
stronger
as a
families.
collective group of men, you have lived in the wealthiest country in the world for years out of slavery. If
Miss
you have not taken that opportunity to elevate yourselves as a collective group, no man left behind, that is your problem.
Well,
Miss
let me
April.
You
explain
Hold
should
something
on.
to
be
you. Let
able
me
Can
tell
to
you.
I
Let me
can
tell
I
you
ask
about
provide
y'all
that,
a
Milton.
question?
Let me
ample
tell you something. Let me tell you about that, Milton.
One mic,
We
one
are
mic.
in the wealthiest
April,
country in the
April, hold on.
world.
We got April. We heard you, April. Miss Robinson, go ahead, Miss Robinson, go ahead.
Hey group, peace and love family. I have a question. I hear what everybody is saying loud and clear. And everybody experiences life in different ways. So everything everybody is saying is right. Right? Like all these different problems, all the roots of the problems, like everybody's right. Nobody on this panel is wrong. Maybe we haven't seen it from that perspective because, like the brother that's on now, he's in the correction facility. I had no idea these women were sending these types of pictures to me and that were incarcerated. That's wild to me, right? But it's a truth. It's a reality. So the question is, what are we gonna do? Like we sitting here beating up on each other about all the ways we know the problem exists, but what do we do? Because we just talking in circles right now.
I agree.
Miss
Well,
Danielle.
U.S. lawyer said he's not going to do anything for anyone but his immediate family. And I think that is the collective group of black men. They all feel it's just about them and their
Miss
nuclear family. And that's
Miss.
the only
Okay,
responsibility
all
they
right,
have because this
go.
is not what they consider to be a community. So they have already played the semantics game. So
Miss
they're
Miss
All
not
right,
going to do anything, Danielle.
all right, go ahead, James.
Miss April. You have to understand that black men have done so far. They have done way more than the history itself even regurgitates in America. The
And we're
civil. It's
living in the results of
no,
that.
no, 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 no. This is what I think you may fail to understand. The
No,
fact
I'm living the results of
no,
what you've done.
what do you? Okay, hold on. What results are you living?
I'm living in a world that is dominated not by the men that I can create in my womb, but by the men who oppressed and dominated us as a collective. So I'm living in that reality.
So okay, what challenges that you face now that that are greater than what our ancestors faced back then?
None.
So how are you being dominated?
No, I'm saying I am living in a world that is not ran by the men that I can create from my womb. It is ran by and dominated by another group. So I live in the reality of that.
So when you say okay, so when you bring up the concept of domination, the thing
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to say that again most sisters fail to understand is that black men have done above and beyond more than white men in this country. And the simple fact that
For
black men,
free. I agree.
right? So for the simple fact that a lot of sisters keep regurgitating these negative points that black men have been useless, this is why black men walk
I don't think
away.
anybody said that though.
No, 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 no. Because you still have these old narratives that keep being repeated that black men are not doing this, black men are not doing. And I said this earlier. The fact that you have studies, you have something called the Monahan report that was written in
Oh
1965.
Lord, here we
No,
go.
no, 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 no. This is no. Think about it. Why would a white race study a black race, make projections, and then see the projections come in its outcome?
They're doing what they've always done, and they
No,
have the
no, no.
power to
This is
put the
what I'm
things
trying to
in
say.
place to make those outcomes happen.
No, no, no. There's no, no, no. There's certain things that don't have to happen because we choose to make it happen. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of sisters choose wrong, just like I tell you. Working
Listen.
in the hold on, let me finish.
Well, they've
Let
been
me finish.
indoctrinated with this
Yeah,
feminist rhetoric,
No,
let me finish.
no,
Hold
no.
on, let me
feminist
Don't
finish.
do that.
ideology.
Don't do that.
No, Miss
Don't do
April,
that.
Miss
Let
April.
me tell you something.
Hold on, Miss April. Let
If
me just
you
finish
were
this.
a woman and you were connected to a group of men who were literally oppressed and dominated, okay? And you had to stay loyal to that group of men for your survival, what would you do?
White
Okay?
women do it.
Well,
Okay,
then,
so
well,
we
well,
so
but you
okay,
know
so
what? But I
The
can
truth
tell a
is,
black man moved
everybody
on.
has
we
The
evolved
have
only
to
through
stay
reason,
stages.
loyal
the
to a
only
group
reason
of
you're
men.
not in slavery right now is
We
because
had
black
to
men. The only
stay
reason you have
loyal to
rights
a
is
group
because
of
of black
men who
men.
were not
Huh?
successful. Okay,
They were
we
Miss
had
successful.
to.
That's why you're not. That's why
Hold
you
on, hold
couldn't
on,
vote
hold on.
now.
Listen, here we go. April, listen, listen, boo. You ain't got to stay loyal to the black men. Go and get you a white man, April.
No, it's
Go
not
get me.
about that. I don't
No,
want a
April,
white
go
man.
do it.
What I'm saying
April,
is
go do it.
there is
April,
no
listen, sister, don't stress
appreciation
yourself.
for black
April,
women.
don't
There is
stress it. April,
only
Where
don't
do you
stress
get? Hold
yourself.
on.
you
First of
April,
guys
all,
don't,
don't even
no,
appreciate the
hold
fact
on.
that we stayed loyal. All
April,
you do is
don't
Well,
talk
stress
about
how
when
can
yourself,
you
we're
be
boo.
not.
loyal when
Go
you
get
having
you a
children out
white
of
man.
wedlock?
Don't
We're
stress yourself.
having sex with you. That is loyalty. We're still
that's not
connecting
what.
with you.
Sex is not loyalty. Sex is
Sex.
sex.
Where do you get?
Okay, but now time out. Y'all really come on now. Black women are way more likely than any other group to marry inside of our own race.
That's
So
not
I'm
true.
Exactly.
not
And
sure
all
where
they
we're
do
Oh,
is
going
well,
with
talk
that.
listen,
about
Like,
yeah,
what's
what
wrong
I'm
with
saying,
us.
girl, listen, don't stress yourself. Go get you a white
It's
man.
no, Prince. It's
Don't
not
stress
about that.
yourself.
It's about
Go
not
get you
feeling
a white man.
appreciated
That's
as
the
a
same thing
black
I say.
woman. It's like we were loyal. We did stick by you guys after slavery. We did
You
stay
didn't.
and
You
keep
stuck by us
and
up
having
we
the
until. Let me
still
tell you
babies.
do.
something. You
We
stuck by us
continued
up
to
until
race
you stuck.
regardless.
You stuck by
And what
us
do
up
we
until
get?
you were able to exploit the rights that we bled for you to have. So up until the time you were able, up until the 60s and 70s, when all of a sudden you had legislation passed which allowed you to vote and allowed you to live where you wanted to
So
live,
you
and then they
wanted us
started
to
doing
stay
this.
oppressed?
No, we
No,
don't talk about
time
stay
out now.
oppressed.
It was a
You
lot
said you
of
stuck
black
by
men
us,
in the
but you
We
know
mud
what
with
you
black
did?
did.
men
You
during
chose
the
a
Pullman
check
shit.
over a family.
No, we did not. We would not, the race would not have continued. We would not still be here if we were not still connecting with our black men.
Oh, you having
What?
sex? Yeah.
What? No, no. You fucking them. That's what it is.
Okay,
That's
it's
all.
connecting regardless. We're
That's not
connecting.
connecting.
And
So
last
hold
thing
on.
That's
I
not
Let me tell.
checked,
connecting,
I'm gonna
April.
tell
wait,
you
wait,
what
April,
wait.
that's
culture.
not
Men
Let's
connecting.
give
control
April.
marriage.
First, I want to say
Men
this. I'll give April
control
some credit.
marriage.
He's
Well,
holding
I'm really
on, and it's
confused
fine.
as to
April, you holding on. I'm gonna
y'all
give you credit for
definition
that.
of connecting because when we talk, we're talking about things way bigger than just producing kids. When we talk about every movement that's been successful in the black community, it was a joint effort. So y'all,
They
like, how
act
are we
like we
completely
left
missing that
them.
point?
No,
They
Miss
act like
April.
we
No, no,
left
no.
them in the
Well,
We
it's
don't.
been a
dirt and
joint
we
effort,
did
but the people
nothing.
who have been bleeding and dying the most have been black men.
Miss April, when you say it's just sex, that is
Wow.
very, very. This it's just demonstrous to even say such a thing because that means you only look at black men as a tool.
I did
Black
not
men.
say
Listen.
it's just sex. I said we're still connecting with you guys, but you act like we
No, no,
ran
no,
out the
Miss
door.
April.
We
Miss
took
Well,
a
April.
you do
You
check.
know.
no.
I'm gonna
You
tell you.
Miss
guys
A lot of
April.
that
paint
is
this
out of
picture.
necessity. I'm gonna tell you
Miss
why.
April. You
You look
said
at
we're
all
No,
the
you're
dating
connecting.
apps.
ungrateful. You're
You look at the dating
ungrateful.
apps.
You're
This is
Miss
not
ungrateful
April.
on
Miss
because if
all
April.
of
I
the
was my
dating apps. They've
grandmother's
Miss
measured this.
April.
On
grandmother,
all of the
I
dating
would have
apps,
left because you're
black women are the least
ungrateful.
selected. So it's
Miss
not like you're
April.
there because you. It's not there because you want to be. It's there because you're the least selected.
Miss
Oh no,
April.
that is not true. That
Miss
is
That's the
not
April.
true.
truth.
That is the
All these
narrative.
they've done
No,
surveys of all
That
yeah,
these
is
yeah,
dating
not
yeah.
apps. That's the
true.
truth.
But no, hold on, you Lord. She's right. She's right. That's not true. So
That
April,
is not
go
true.
get you April, go get you a white man, girl.
No, Prince, it's
Yeah,
not
go
about
get
getting
you
a
a
white
white
man.
girl.
It's
Go get you
That's
a
about the
white
not
lack
her
man.
of
point, man.
gratitude.
Y'all
Go get
beating
you a
up on
white
my
man.
It's
April.
A
about
white
the
man.
lack of
Crazy.
gratitude, Prince. If a woman stands by a man who cannot protect her or provide for her, there should be some sense of humility that I would think
Well,
black
you
men would
assume.
have. But
Let me tell you
instead,
something.
Miss.
we get
Hold
Let,
on.
vitriol
let's
and we
say.
get
Let,
hate.
Hold
let,
on,
I'm
hold
let
on,
me
hold
answer.
on. Stop this.
I want to say something real quick.
Other
Let's
men
look at
are
what she just said
protecting and
about protect.
providing for their women,
Let,
and we had to endure and stand by our
well, let me
men
give you
when
some
they could
numbers.
not. When
So
they
Miss.
64%
could
of
not.
black men are middle
When
class.
they could not provide and
Fifth,
protect us, we
54
stood there anyway. We
54%
stood
of
by
black
you
men
guys,
have no
and you
children.
guys repay us with
64% of
vitriol.
black men are middle
You
class.
repay us with
And
vitriol and
no, but you
disrespect.
said we can't provide for you, but
Hold
54%
on, Miss.
of black men don't have any children. 64% of black men are in the middle
Listen, you can
class.
throw all the
So
stats
so
out.
no,
We're
let me
talking
let me
about the
finish this. So let me
historical
finish this.
context.
So
We're
so
talking about the historical context and how we evolved as a group of people.
Okay, so
After slavery, when black men could not do anything, but
my
these
father did things
sharecroppers,
and I've been able
wait,
to do
I'm going to
hold
things.
on,
look at
Miss
the
I've
April.
never
historical
I've never
context.
had that problem.
Miss
I'm
April, how can
looking at the
you hold
historical
on, Miss April?
context.
Why do you concentrate so much on the fact that you think black men have not evolved? I just gave you a perfect example early on that black men are actually participating in college. 60% are in the middle
No,
class.
I work
And,
in
I think we all
education.
watching
hold
I
on,
too
hold
much
work
on,
in
hold on, hold on.
TV
No,
and
no,
education.
no, no,
indulging in
no, no,
social
no,
media
no, no.
too much. Like this is wild because the fact of it is we all operate inside of our own families, inside of our own communities, and we see people doing the work. We see strong black families. We see strong black women and strong black men. So I'm very confused as to how this conversation is going so left when the things we're talking about is the stuff that we're seeing out. Granted, I'm from Detroit. Okay, I done seen a lot of bullshit. I done seen a lot of
Hey,
fuckery. I
Daniel,
done
can I
seen
ask
a
you a
lot
question,
of
Daniel? Not
stuff.
Daniel. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Because you're from Detroit. I'm so
Absolutely.
sorry. What happened to the Detroit 300? If you could tell Miss April Tate, what happened to the Detroit 300?
Well, so I used to live in Detroit. I moved to Texas about 8 years ago. But from my understanding, it was an issue with the police not wanting them to be around. Now, I heard, what you guys said about it was black women that tore them down. I never heard that from back home.
I never said a black
So,
woman. I said the
well, that's
community.
what
Black community.
somebody put that in the super chat or something like that. It wasn't you, excuse me, but that was the way the conversation was being led to. That was the narrative that black women shut down the Detroit 300.
We
I
can't
never
even
heard
agree
that.
that we have a culture at this point.
We don't have
Well,
a
we
culture. We don't
don't.
have a
I'm,
culture.
I'm, gonna-
We
I'm
don't
We
gonna
have
tell
a
you what
don't
a,
culture.
I'm
because
gonna tell
our
you what a
culture is
culture
being
is. I'll tell
led
you what
by
a
our
culture
music,
is.
and our music is poison. So we
I'll tell you what
don't.
a culture is. My wife from Madagascar, she has a culture. They have a language and they have a code. And I'm going to tell you something. When I got with her, you know what her mother came and said to her? Her mother said, "I don't want to ever hear about you having a problem in that marriage and you being responsible for it." Her aunties, the first thing they said to her, they said, "Girl, you better always respect that man." That's a culture. They have a language. They have their own foods. They have their own. They have their own rituals. That's culture.
They do. But
Okay,
I think
we don't
we're
have
We
too
that
have
here.
hard on
food,
each
we
other,
have
though.
rituals,
If
we
we
have
would just take a little
What
time to
rituals do we have? What culture do we have?
if we would
You know
take
soul
what?
a little
food.
time to give each other some
Soul
grace.
food.
And
That's
yeah,
a part of our culture, soul food.
that's not quite it. We're definitely missing a code. We're missing a way what that men are supposed to move and that women are supposed to move. That's why I put in the chat. I understand when we're talking about the problems, but what about having rites of passages for our kids? What about doing certain things that actually will promote and encourage having a culture? Because right now the music, that's really it, and that's
I
sad because
agree.
that's not a culture.
And I agree with that too. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is why I disagree with Dynas. I don't think we're done. I think that we're
It's
going
a
to have
wrap.
to start
It's done.
acknowledging that a culture has to be
It's
a
done. It's
deliberate
done.
set of rules and principles that we agree and we enforce. And if we enforce them, that means we're going to have to ostracize people who don't comply with that behavior.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I think we agree more than what we disagree.
I
I
agree with
honestly
what
do.
I
The
think we
the
should
historical shit
ostracize
we could
people who
argue
don't
about
comply.
all day. It's done. It's in
And
the past. Nothing we
this
can do about it.
well, and that, all this, baby mama culture and drug dealing culture and pimp culture.
Yeah, I
I've
mean we
never
gotta
understood
stop
why
it.
people will think that pimp image is something to be admired or admirable.
I agree.
No more than the whole image. But we've had a whole culture. If you think about it, like even Tupac singing, "Even though my mama was a drug queen, dope fiend, she still was a black
Black
queen." No, no, she
Queen
wasn't a
Mama.
black
Yeah.
queen. She
Well,
was
Biggest
a
lie
dope
ever
fiend.
All
told.
of that
now,
is
if
Biggest
I
accurate.
lie
can
ever
jump
told.
in and answer that question real quick, y'all may not like the answer, but I feel like this is the truth. In the '90s, when hip hop had a choice,
Yep.
okay? And that's the way it went. And I remember specifically, I got no disrespect to Uncle Luke, whatever, but I remember him going before Congress and fighting for the right to be disrespectful and to be
Mhm.
misogynistic. And you had black female lawmakers who were being called bitches and old cunts and all that because they were saying we don't want our culture to go this way.
But you
So
Mhm.
also had black people. You had black people. And yeah, I give Jesse Jackson credit and other people who were speaking out against it too. But here's the problem we have with this when I say about
that's what
culture is that
and
we
very
don't
true.
control. The problem is this because we don't control now to some degree, maybe a little more today, but we didn't control what gets played on the airwaves.
I agree.
So because
True.
if we had a culture, this Cardi B stuff and this Meg Thee Stallion stuff would not be played to our children.
I agree.
Because you know what? If you had somebody being that vulgar and was playing that to say Asians children, the Asian community, you don't think that person would be run off?
I agree.
So part of the problem is we don't control our own images. We
We
don't
don't.
control our image, and so that a culture it has to be a system, an organized system of a code of conduct and some rules that we're able to not only enforce, but if we could enforce culture and we had a culture, Cardi B wouldn't be on the air, Meg Thee
Well,
Stallion
she
wouldn't be on
doesn't
there.
really represent us as a collective. I mean,
Well, the
that's
president of
black
the
men's
president of the United
preference.
States, the president of the United
Listen,
States, when he wanted to get our vote, where did they go to? That's what he
Cardi
went to.
B.
He went
Cardi
to
B.
Cardi B, the president. He went to
I
Cardi
mean,
B
but then they just had
Well,
that little Asian
and asked her
project
for
up
policy.
there,
She's
and I
making
don't think that
policy.
they
but that's a
represent North
black man's
Koreans. So that's
preference.
just how
So
the White House rolls.
How do you know that's a
You
black
know,
man's
that counts
preference? Where's that
anyway.
come
Oh
from?
my God, everybody fuck with no Cardi B. All right, listen, I gotta go to bed.
I don't see
Listen,
any black men that think Cardi B is. I
listen,
haven't
I
seen
got
a black
yeah,
man
I ain't fucking with
that
no
thinks
Cardi
Cardi
B.
B
Yeah.
is something to be admired. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I ain't fucking with no Cardi B. But hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. I'm about to
And
go
I'm
to
gonna
bed.
say I appreciate you, sisters. You held your own today, and you know we don't always have to disagree, but we always have to talk.
I
There we
agree.
go.
Absolutely.
Okay,
All right,
there we
y'all
go.
have a good
Take
night.
care, y'all.
Okay, y'all. The next time, family, that is Mr. True. Peace.